Alright, here we are. So, hey guys, welcome. This is episode 41 of Kobold Kingmaker, and it'll probably go to episode 80 or something like that. Well, 70 or something. That being said, welcome everyone, welcome new people, Melabade, all that. Cool to have you guys here. And, of course, little advertisement for me. If you see any maps today, they are most likely created by me, myself. Patreon.com/KoboldDM. I have over 150 maps created so far. A couple of them remakes, but I don't do remakes anymore since Paizo does it now. But many supplemental maps as you need them for Kingmaker. Otherwise, you're gonna just have to run encounters on plain grass fields or something like that. Anyway, that being all said, who amongst our group here wants to do the recap this week?
I'm ready for it.
Okay.
All right. So the battle against the barbarian warlord chief Armag the Twice-Born raged on, and in the end, we were victorious against him down in the depths of I don't want to say his tomb, but I guess it is now. the Armag wannabe was slain, as well as the sister with him and their undead warriors. And the blade of Armag himself, Bane, lay at our feet. And as we contemplated the ways that the blade could be destroyed or neutralized, Kiba chose to take up the great sword in hand himself, believing he could follow in the footsteps of the goddess Shellen and somehow redeem this weapon and the cursed soul within it. The guardian of the tomb accepted our choice and passed away peacefully before our eyes. But not before describing a vision. There's another blade out there in the world, important to the current times. And our duty may be to find another home for that blade, find out where it belongs. And somehow, in doing so, if we understand correctly, we might be able to find a way to change Bane for the better. We cleared out the rest of the treasure in that tomb, put the bodies of the 4 Iron Wraith warriors to rest that we had found slain in there, and began our journey home. Passed through Fort Drelov to inform them of the news of our victory, to ensure that those who were once hostages had made it back safely, and to ensure that they're still going to be alright with us. And we returned home. Further adventures awaited us, but it would only be after a couple months of governance and rest. That's where we are.
And that is where you guys are, yes. As you have gained a lot of rest, a lot of recuperation. There is one thing I should ask from last time. Did we do downtime, earn income, anything like that, or was it
Nope,
just
not yet.
leveling
Nope.
up? Okay.
Nope, not yet.
So, with that all being said, I think you guys had plenty of time to level up, buy new equipment, magical items, runes, and such for your weapons. So, you do know that you'll have about 3 months of downtime here. As you manage the kingdom, of course, over that time, you will have time to yourselves to do whatever you wish. To develop yourselves, to earn income, of course, to learn new spells, all of that. So, let's go around and see what each of you are doing. If anybody has something they immediately want to do, let me know.
Okay, so I think we should probably get around to asking the obvious question first. How am I handling this sword over a 3-month downtime?
That is a good question. So, the blade does seek for battle. Every single day, it wants you to at least fight something yourself. But, good thing about that is that you, managing a kingdom like it is, and with all that there is to it, there's probably plenty of smaller threats that would be quote-unquote a moderate encounter for you alone, so your whole party doesn't have to go out with you every time, right?
Makes sense, yeah.
But doing that, dealing with, well, bandits or monsters, the odd owlbear or two, but those don't exist in the remaster anymore, you are pretty much consumed by handling it during that time, unless you want to start making some will saves.
Not in particular.
Mm-hmm.
How satisfied would it be
Yes.
if if I also spent some time trying to like kind of follow in my father's footsteps a bit and do like big training and battle practice with people in town.
Mm-hmm. I would say that the blade seeks for battle. It doesn't seek for necessarily killing and slaughter and that sort of thing. It just wants a fight. And of course, those things resolve or occur from fights, obviously, but you can slake some of its thirst by training with the guard and doing stuff like that. Though there are points where you just feel the urge to go out and, well, make it real. Make it a real battle to the death. That sort of thing for the blade.
Yeah. I'm doing both of these things for the security of our nation. So
Mhm.
this is wonderful.
Surely at some point we started like we built a coliseum or something in Skillport.
I would be so up for that.
Well, it might be time to do it. But over this course of time, I do want a religion check from you, Kiba.
You bet.
As you took up this blade, specifically because your goddess Shalin is known to wield the corrupted sort of glaive of Zon Kathan, her brother, an evil deity. And so, Shalinites are, in particular, more of wanting to take up cursed weapons and items than any other, well, follower. And as you're trying to pray to Shalin to gain some aid in quelling the rage that sits within this blade, you don't have much progress being made. You get the feeling that you're going to have to get out there and experience it without this sort of management going on to really make some difference with it.
That's fair enough.
But that'll be your time handling that whole situation. Anybody else have anything in particular for the 3 months?
I do think. Oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Tell you.
Alrighty. Gas will be spending the time inventing some new gadgets.
Okay.
That is to say, I have about 3 things in mind I would like to invent.
Let me turn you down slightly there, but yes. What would you like
Excuse
to
me.
do here? No problem.
First things first, I would like to invent one of these.
Etheric Essence Disruptor. Alright. Real energy through the process. Uncommon stuff I don't normally say no to. Upon activation, attempt to counteract check against. Attempt to counteract an active divine or occult spell. Okay, that's interesting. The counteract modifier is 18. And I think that's still going to be pretty viable at this point. Yeah. Yeah, I would absolutely allow that.
Excellent. I am still really terrible at figuring out how to do crafting stuff.
For the purposes of inventions, just the DC of the item, it would be a level 11 item. Therefore, standard DC is like, let me look that real quick. Standard DC for level 11 is 28. Just call it that.
Yeah, I can just easily make that.
Mm-hmm. Since this isn't a gadget, an uncommon item, I still want you to, invent it because, of course, the remaster rules allow you to have any formula outright, pretty much. But this is a little bit different. And easily learn how to create one of these. And in the process of inventing it, I'll say you get one as well.
I was just gonna add it to my daily craft anyways.
I see that we are both traumatized by that last caster we had to fight.
Yeah.
These things happen.
I've been specializing into anti-cast and I will keep on doing so. The second thing I would like to invent is one of these. Some better blast boots.
Hey, made good use of those before.
These are a level 9 item.
So that would be even lesser on the DC 26.
Oh, and there's a crit fail. There we go.
Easily enough. That's actually a critical success. So I would say each of these would be a week of downtime, as it generally is for stuff. Rules off the top of my head. you would take half the time, so we'll say 3 days.
Wonderful. I will then have my final invention be for now this one. Ablative armor plating.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a level 13.
Good.
So
Yeah, go for it. Should be DC 31 there.
Cool.
This one just barely getting by, but you're well versed in all things crafting and machinery and such, and eventually over the course of that 7 days to invent this otherwise unseen, unheard of item in where you are right now, yeah, that's what you get. So 17, 14, 15, 17 days. You have 13 days remaining of your downtime. You can use earn income or something like that, if you will.
I will probably do that in that case.
Okay. So, there is the macro for earn income. You have to find it in the Compendium tab, top right, and then search Compendium packs. Otherwise, what is everyone else doing?
I believe Yarmos was going to go next. Or have something ready?
Actually, no, I don't think. I'm not sure how this. Yeah, it seems crafting. Right, I forgot exactly how crafting works, but it seems like if you can just buy the item and earn income at the same time, it does basically nothing for you.
Yeah, so it is different if you critically succeed on the crafting check, though. If I recall correctly. Like, you do get a little bit of a benefit if you critically success, and then spend those days to earn that item.
Alright, I'm trying to craft 2 ghost charges. Just to keep them in my back pocket in case we do run into any ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
That is not what I wanted to do.
Yeah, you have free crafting target toggled.
Yeah, that turned off now. Right. In that case, so is there? Do I just roll?
Yeah, for the
Roll it raw?
for these, yeah, just there should be the craft button, like. Yeah, I clicked it there and it did this, right? You see those little hammer icons next to each of your items in the menu? You can do that.
Yeah, gotcha. I can't find a DC for a ghost charge though. Greater ghost charge.
It's DC 28. It's right there in the thing. See, ghost charge greater DC 28 1,000 gold.
Oh, I always thought those were like the DC of its effects.
No, it's DC for the craft.
Right. Oh,
well, it's standard DC, so it would be the DC for the item as well. It's both.
Gotcha. Alright. Here's my first one.
I am a moron. I misread Fighter Weapon Mastery all the way back from level 5.
How do you mean?
I thought I only got critical specialization in the weapon group I chose, but I actually get it in all weapons in which I at least have master proficiency in.
Yeah, we've run it that way, haven't we?
Yeah, I completely forgot about it, so I thought I shouldn't use a main Gosh because I can't get the crit effect.
Ah, yeah.
But now that I know that, I'm going to change the Bloodthirst into that when we start adventuring again.
Yeah, Yarmos.
Going with Yarmos.
You'll see there that with the critical success, it reduces the amount that you need to use further. So you pay 500 and you spend 25 days to make it a 500 cost thing for 4 ghost charges.
Gotcha. All right. In that case, I will be spending all 25 days because that is a bit more than just if I earned income regularly, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit more.
All right. In that case, that's what I do.
Yeah, and if you want to use the remaining 5 days for just a regular earning income, you certainly can.
Yep.
That'll leave Giraffe and Arinth for what you guys doing.
Arinth is going to take some time here to do some retraining, to learn how to better counter enemy spellcasters, quite literally.
And
he is going to be searching some things to get clever counterspell.
Sure, yeah.
Beyond that, he'll probably be training the apprentices at the academy again.
Alrighty.
How many days of earned income is that?
So I'm starting with 30 days because you guys have smaller things, and then there's going to be 60 days after that.
Okay.
Which is probably just you all going to be using the earned income macro anyway.
Alright. That probably takes 30 days because I'm retaining multiple feats. So
Yes, we'll say that. We'll call that.
Okay.
As for Giraffe, I don't think we need to earn income. Like, we're doing pretty well, so I think he's gonna focus on. Can I train the militia as an activity? Or, yeah, that's right. We're not doing that sheet anymore.
Yeah, we're not doing the actual like kingdom management stuff, but as your earn income, you certainly could. Yes.
Then I will do that. It's athletics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do we have a macro for the earned income?
Yeah, it's in the compendium tab, top right. You can search for it there.
Yeah, I guess Kiba can't do all the work there.
Mm-hmm.
I do level 13 since I'm level 13, 60 days, right? Or
30 days to start here. Then we'll manage the 60 days separately because you guys had smaller stuff in the 30 days. I felt that would be a little bit easier. Okay. So you make a little. You didn't change. Wait, is that? Yeah, I guess that's just the failure money that you would get for 30 days. Huh. Seems low.
does it add that automatically?
What do you mean? No, it doesn't add that. It just puts it out. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, with that being said, guys, to get things rolling a little bit more, you have what is going to be a 60 more days, pretty much, that you have of downtime here. We'll call, Kiba, what you did, like, just enough over the course of those 30 days, enough for the blade. Then the rest of it can be mixed in with an earned income, I'll say. So, you have 60 days for that. And for the purposes of it, I'm going to put everyone inside, and then once each of you do your earn income and get the gold for it to yourselves, like just through the macro, you don't have to tell me when you're doing it. You can just, do it. Then move your tokens outside to signify as such that you're ready to go for whatever is in the future.
So is it 60 days now, or just another 30 days?
It's another 60. So it's 60 here. Hey, that's a lot more.
Oh, just what I needed, a nat 20. 1200.
The range of prices is definitely sort of a wide margin here.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Okay, so I think I'm going to say that I'm kind of dividing my attention between following my artistic pursuits and working with Giraffe with the militia training.
Mm-hmm. Work with Giraffe there. We'll see how successful you are. Giraffe did a really good job, but there's certainly more room for you. Rest for the 60 remaining days. There we go.
And that was it was in flex for that one, right?
Yes, for those.
Whoa!
10 gold is 1 platinum, right?
Yes it is. Mm-hmm.
Okay, just checking, because I'm going to convert my currency and I don't want to mess it up.
And 2 electrum.
Wow.
Giba's not having a good time of it. It's the distraction of Over and Bane, of the spirit of Armag still lying within it, has caused a lot of issue for you. But, for the purpose of it, I will say, with all this gold, new gold, remember to add it yourself, because it doesn't add it automatically for these checks that you succeed. With that being said, you guys may have an opportunity to spend that cash in different ways coming up here, so you don't need to immediately spend it all here. Just thought I'd let you know, because it's pretty fun what you can do with it later. Of course, we'll get going here with whatever is in the future, once all you confirm you're good to go, from earn income and all this.
Well, hopefully those are my garbage rolls for the day, because that was pretty horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, Kiba. You'll be fine. If you die, we'll make sure to honor you.
Nice.
Seems
So-
like we'll be spending our hero points on single rolls over the course of a few moments rather than the roll that we'll be doing for 2 months.
I mean, well, it's just a quirk of the system, of course, for the earned income stuff. Much better than rolling for each and every single day that you spend on earned income.
Yeah.
Even though it'd be more fair, technically, for, like, you know, the differences of a day and your luck on each day. That being said, though, as you guys return to the court one evening, about 3 months after the events of Armag the Twiceborn, it is now 4713 AR, which is after Eridan, I think, or something like that. I think so. It is. Let me check the calendar and movie guys in Eridus, Rova. It goes into the fall months, the month of Lamashtu, Lamashan 4713. It's the second day of the week. The wheel day, I believe it is. And you've dealt with letters and all of that many times before of different nations and deals with Jamani Eldori from Brevoy and letters from mayors all over your kingdom. But one gold-leafed letter with a bunch of pomp and circumstance arrives on, well, your desks. It bears, quite notably, the blue seal of Pitax. I assume you'd all get together to read this special letter.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Or
Why would I
be
have an
back
armor
to
check
like this.
penalty?
Sorry, Kiba?
Why would I have an armor check penalty? That doesn't seem right.
Let's check. As I am also looking for that letter.
Right.
You have a strength of +4.
Yeah.
And you're...
That should be plenty for the half plate.
Mhm. So, with plate armor, with, check penalties, your check penalty, what does it say? It says plus or minus, how much?
-3.
Oh, you're looking at your earned income. Yeah, specifically on earned income, it doesn't actually avoid that modifier. It shouldn't be showing up on that. Earned income's macro doesn't know it as best as the character sheet says. So you would get what the success would be for that, which is... nobody else actually rolled yours
900.
is 900. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, gee, that's
Big
kind of a
difference.
huge difference.
Yeah, good catch on that. I wouldn't have caught that. But, yes, you guys have this letter that has arrived. And, well, I assume you guys would open it up.
This thing reeks
Yep.
of Pitax.
I use Parent's horn as a letter opener.
Well, they seem to know how to cater to you specifically, parent.
I highly doubt this letter is worth anything. It's probably fake gold.
Nah. It's just a gaudy show of their wealth and what they think is their own prestige. What they don't realize is that they're so gaudy and tasteless.
University coughs and side eyes away from the gold statues of the party that were erected in town.
So gaudy and tasteless that Pitax.
I'm more surprised they bothered to send us a letter in the first place. So far from what Pitax has been doing is, rather subversive espionage things.
Subversive and not very diplomatic. No embassies or anything of that have tried to been established between you two. Even your letters to Pitax, with maybe some diplomatic overtures, have essentially been ignored. This is the only time that they've really, well, gave you correspondence.
Maybe they'll finally be making their declaration of war so we can finally take them out.
Let me take a look at this first before we open it.
Very
Sounds
well.
quite out of character for you.
Using
What
a
do you
claw,
mean?
Fareth, you slice it open. And hopefully this shows to you guys correctly. There we go.
Oh no.
In
my one
cursive.
weakness.
Oh boy.
So I can read out
yeah.
it. Basically, because nobody is taught cursive anymore.
I was taught it.
I think it's a cool skill that should be taught because it's cool, not
I
because
was-
it's useful.
I learned it in 3rd grade, but I don't
Copy,
remember
paste.
really. No, I got it
It's
for you too.
Very much slower than just writing normally.
Oh, you could select the text.
It reads as follows. Greetings from His Supreme and Inimitable Magnificence Castruccio Irovetti, by the grace of the gods, the rightful king of Pitax, marvel of Numeria, master of Mormuth, and prince regent of the Selin. It is with great delectation and delight that I greet you, my fellow River Kings. I would be honored if you would accept my invitation to attend the 5th annual Rushlight Tournament as my guests. I know you to be discerning rulers, and trust you would not dare miss such an extravagance, for I planned this to be the finest rushlight yet. And to sweeten the pot, as it were, I have secured a glorious magical item, a golden gemstone wand capable of creating a wondrous and magnificent mansion worthy of the bearer's regal nature, which I am willing to bestow upon the nation that proves itself by fielding the true Rushlight champion. Could this champion be one of your own? Please confirm your attendance via this invitation's courier. I look forward to your attendance. King Castruccio Irovetti of Pitax.
So this is a trap, right?
Oh, it's certainly possible.
Gas is silently gritting his teeth.
Can I use an action to retch at the fancy name calling and wording?
Well, you can poke a finger in your mouth to get yourself sick in one, and then you can do it.
Giraffe, we've talked about doing this inside. Please do it outside next time.
Not on any of the finery.
I hate that
So,
language.
what do we know about this Rushlight Tournament anyway?
I haven't heard anything, I don't think.
You beg the question, roll a society check, anybody who wants to.
You
I'm
cer-
in.
You certainly didn't get invited last year.
Oops, I think I need to re-roll that
Oh, yep, definitely me too.
because I openly rolled.
So, judging by parents' knowledge, and judging by nobody else being much more well-versed in, well, knowledge of society and history than him, he's able to tell you all that the Rushlight Tournament is something that's been going on for a couple of decades now, from Pitax specifically. But, curious thing is that, well, Irovetti's only been in power for about 10 years, and the Rushlight Tournament goes only every 6 years. I don't know what that would be, that's not really bicentennial, it's like bicentennial plus 1.
Bisextennial.
Yes, perhaps. But, he has only thrown one previous Rushlight Tournament, and this is going to be the second Irovetti Rushlight Tournament. Before that, the bandit houses ruled over Pitax before he showed up.
Was there anything untowards during the last Irovetti tournament? Does parents know?
I can say that parents hadn't heard anything in particular about it. It sounds like any other River Kingdoms tournament. A lot of the River Kingdoms pit themselves against each other. Even one of the nations itself, Timon, I believe, is a nation that is basically one big tournament. Sort of, everything is decided via tournament in that country. So, yes, there's quite a lot of tournaments that happen, and this one doesn't seem all that different. It's raucous, people are there to have fun, and think of it almost like you were going to the Renaissance Fair. There's drinks, there's games, there's, well, jousting, and all of that.
I admittedly want to take Irovetti up on his invitation, just so we can show him up and tell him to his face what we think of him.
I've kind of wanted to see what the place is like in person as well. See the state of his people.
You would
Not
also
to mention, I can't turn down a tournament.
Yeah, I've been itching to get traveling again anyways.
And you would also know that it's called the Rushlight Tournament because it's in the Rushlight province of Pitax. It's outside the city, a ways. But yes, still on their land.
Besides, we did well against the last trap set up against us.
This might not be a trap entirely, but surely we shouldn't be all that bad at a, what is this, jousting tournament?
Yeah, you could just dash at him with those shoes, Gaz.
Most likely, it's his way to size us up and get a feel for our strengths, our weaknesses. But at the same time, this may afford us a similar opportunity.
Yeah, he hasn't talked to us at all, has he?
What if he's just trying to get us out of here?
The militia's well trained. I don't think that's something to worry about.
Besides, Parenth, you can carry us.
He can't even fly.
You're asking a lot, Kiba.
I'm only asking what you're truly capable of. I know you.
That's very far away.
I'm not saying all at once, but it would get us there. It would get us back quickly. I'm not saying we should fly there. Not fly, but I'm not saying we should bypass the trip there. Only that if we need to escape quickly, we may have a means to do so.
How far is Rushlight from here?
I can show it on your map.
This way I have an idea of how many teleport spells Kiba's wanting me to use.
On the way back.
I forgot he had teleport. I was assuming Kiba meant carry someone on his back.
I mean, you can also do that
That's
with
very in
transforming into a
character.
dragon.
That's very in character for Giraffe, though. to
That's
forget
very
that-
in character.
that Parent can teleport us.
So what you guys
168 miles.
Yeah, what you guys know about Pitax is that they basically occupy this flat plain, basically up to Hooktongue here, all the way through here. That's basically the nation of Pitax, right? And
Right on our borders.
at this point, yeah, because you guys already have the Tiger Lord sort of under control and Drelev, so it's about time that things really, well, start being diplomatic to some extent. Or not. But
I know they want our land, don't they?
in here, you'll know that Pitax City is at the confluence of the two rivers here. And the Rushlight Tournament is up near Hemlock Lake here, near to that, sort of in this province. So yeah, from where you are, it'd be about 168 miles. I forget the specifics of the teleportation spell. Let's put it at the chat here.
It's 1,000 miles at level 7. At
Oh,
level
yes.
8, we can go anywhere on the planet. So how do you guys feel about heading to Tianxia once we hit level 15?
Just completely derail the campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at level 10, it can go anywhere in the same galaxy, so I mean,
Ooh, space.
it's better
Let's
be
play Starfinder.
better be sure you're very accurate with that one, though.
Ah, yes. We're just flying freely through space.
hmm
Ooh, sun, shiny.
There's the teleport spell.
There we are.
I suppose in the case of an emergency, it could take us back, but I'm not really familiar enough with that area to teleport us there.
I don't think any of us would want to teleport there. We would miss the entire journey on the way.
It'd be quite the stylish entrance, though.
It certainly would be.
You guys do get the impression that, well, if you're entering another person's nation, it is not nearly as untamed as the rest of the Stolen Lands. You doubt there would be anything really to see along the way, other than farmland and guards and, well, a pretty well-established nation.
I vote for teleporting in. I want to make as stylish of an entrance as we can.
Let's teleport. It sounds like Corvus doesn't want to calculate all the travel.
Well, how long away? How far in the future is this tournament anyway?
It is going to be in 2 weeks' time. The letter arrived just in time, almost making you guys rush out the door.
I don't want to rush. I want to stretch and get ready for it.
And we can easily stretch if we walk along the way.
It'd be
Keep-
good
Well,
to.
all I'm hoping to do is gorge myself on sweetmeats while you two wet your blades, and I'd rather not have a 2-week journey just for that.
I'm not doing this just to. What do you think I am? Some kind of a warlord?
I think it'd be good to check on Drelov. Make sure everything's going okay. You want to teleport? If I mess up, we're gonna be like underground or something.
That's why we can walk. Not a problem.
Just don't mess up then.
And if we just happen to find any threats along the way, for the good of the security of our nation,
Why don't we just teleport to Drelev and walk the rest of the way to Rushlight?
As a note as well for teleportation, it works on the lateral plane of the Earth, so you're not going to teleport into the sky or underneath it.
darn.
You teleport 1 mile into the air and die.
I mean, any
Teleport,
wizard should have Featherhall, but still.
Teleport
Fair
curves around the round planet for that.
Yep.
Fine. I can teleport us there, but I need a good picture of the place.
I thought the Earth was Velociraptor shaped. Wouldn't it be a Velociraptor shaped spell?
You've just been to Drella. Surely you still have a good mental
No,
image.
Rushlight, not Drelov.
But we wouldn't need to teleport directly into Rushlight. We can walk the way there. We're all. Do none of you really want to walk?
No.
You want to
So,
go through the swamp again, Kiba? Really?
just for the sake of clarity as well, because if you were to cast it at 7th level, any location with 1,000 vials, that lowers the amount of offsettedness you would be. You would only be 17% off target, because you're only going a short distance within that 1,000 miles. It's based on roughly 1% of the total distance traveled.
Okay.
If you're insisting on teleporting there, why don't we teleport to Drelev? And walk the rest of the way from there.
Fine. We can't bring an entourage this way, though. It will just be us.
Entourage?
You know, people here, extra guards.
I know what an entourage is. But keep in mind, I was the one suggesting that we walk the whole way.
So, target is Drelov. Am I getting it right?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
We've been outvoted on walking.
you will begin to make these sort of arrangements during the next 2 weeks here. Or rather more like 1 week, giving yourself time to get there in time. But suffice to say, make preparations, you make arrangements with the others to be away from, well, town for a little bit here. And, well, you all gather up on the appointed day, a week later, and Aerith begins the spell, drawing the sigils onto the ground, interlocking the correct lines, and doing the incantation as precisely as possible, envisioning exactly where you want to be, especially because Drelev is where you've been before. You all blink out of reality, sort of sizzling away into its sort of, sub-field, and, well, emerge almost in an instant later. Drelev. They're right outside the gates.
Man, it's nice not having to go through the gnarl marshes or Hookton. Especially the Hookton area.
And
You used to that kind of thing by now?
Just because I'm used to it doesn't mean I like it. It's fun in a masochistic kind of way. Not something I want to do again, if I can avoid it.
It's true, though, that I'm not particularly fond of the wetlands myself. So dirty.
So I imagine we just kind of check in on them really quick, just make sure
Yeah.
nothing's falling apart.
Yeah, in the 3 months that you've given them nominal autonomy here, essentially, they've managed to make something of the town. It's much better than it was before. People aren't starving on the street. It's bustling, and, well, you did seemingly the right thing. Nothing amiss, nothing untoward, nothing like that. I'll just have to decide how you get to Rushlight.
Like I just walk.
Mhm.
And we likely won't need to do any reconnaissance or anything because it's a tamed
Yeah.
wildlands.
Should I just make a bunch of blind survival checks for you?
No, you don't need to do anything of the sort.
Okay.
More just that doing another teleport after you checked in, or just,
We should walk the rest of the way. It is new territory.
Get an idea for how they're set up,
Okay. So,
just in case.
as you make your way down from Drelev into the lands of Rushlight over the course of the next few days, you find that these are managed hinterlands, it seems. There's actually not a lot of farms out here. There are certainly, well, critters and deer and such, this sort of rolling hills here. It almost makes you imagine it is some sort of royal preserve for hunting and such. You do find the remnants of many hunts before, and not a lot of people here, either way. You have seen quite a few guards that sort of regard you on the road, checking what you're here for, but otherwise, you have no trouble at all. And it's not long before, next 4 days or so, allow you to get there just in time for the true start of the events. Of course, the tents are out and people are making merry before then, but you're here for the tournament, and you've gotten here for the tournament days. And as you crest the hill, pushing past peddlers and their carts trying to sell memorabilia, a lot of memorabilia seems to be little miniatures of Irovetti, little sculptures of the city, dioramas of it. It's all very self-aggrandizing. You start to get the impression. But sorry, go.
That's what we're missing. We should have made little tiny toys of ourselves to give to all the kids.
Completely unnecessary.
I like the idea of that though. We should invest in that.
We could do that come next holiday back in Guildford.
What we should do is invest in local artists and ensure that we get to see their visions, not ours.
Their visions of us, yeah.
Their visions of the beauty of our land, and their
I think
hopes
a pair of
and their
toy would be
dreams.
quite funny.
And as you guys crest the last hill before, well, the tournament grounds lie before you, you begin to see just many hundreds of tents. It seems like people from all over the River Kingdoms have arrived here. You see many different nations' flags being waved above them, Mivon, Timon, Daggermark, and such. Other sort of just peddlers and marketeers have arrived here as well, selling more wares locally from their own, places in the other places of the River Kingdoms. And there are many drunkards rushing about, sort of laughing, cavorting, as it were. And it is definitely a scene of debauchery, but not like super debaucherous, of course. Maybe that's when people go to their tents at night, but merriment, enjoyment. People with their turkey legs and pretzels and beer pass you by, sort of recognize you a lot, though. You have some people shouting, "Oi, those are they're from the newfound kingdom, aren't they?" And all of that. Getting recognized a lot now.
Look at that, they know who we are.
Then I shall boldly wave. I'm not hiding my appearance.
Parent wants a pretzel.
Well, you have the opportunity as I move you guys to a new scene. Make your way down to the tournament grounds proper, sort of the center of the sort of commerce and the performances and the arts. Seems to be down by the river here. You arrive.
I'm getting myself a turkey leg.
To a spectacle of, well, performers and people shouting wares and all of that. But before you can take in the scene, it seems like your arrival has gotten ahead of you. As you see a clamor of people shouting and cheering, you start overhearing, "Oh, that's our Irovetti! The Grand King! He's come down to see us!"
Oh, you idiot, he's not seeing us, he's seeing the others.
As people sort of, well, make way for the cohort of gleaming armored guards that lead the way for another gleaming armored garbed fellow, though this one much more regal appearance. That would be King Castruccio Irovetti in the flesh. And as you have a look at him, he seems to definitely fit the descriptions of a barrel-chested, sort of magnanimous figure before you of this sort of adventurer king. Strangely, though, especially to Gaz, you notice two things about what he wears, other than the regal sort of cape and the three-pointed crown. You see first that polearm that he wields there. That sort of like double-sided, strangely curved polearm. Almost as if it was like a two meat hatchets sort of attached to a polearm on either side of it. You recognized, Gaz, that that's not a magical weapon. That is rather a technological device. Something very close to what you do. Roll me a crafting check, actually.
Shall do just that.
I believe Pitax is ruled by Alan Rickman.
I'm intrigued.
You recognize it as Castruccio Irovetti's famous Rod of Razors, a Numerian item, as he was a Numerian adventurer before he arrived here. It seems to be of adamantine make, and seems to spark with this electricity. Not this magical lightning, but real electricity generated from somewhere within. You imagine that some release mechanism would allow it to sling attacks from afar. This sort of flechette of razors, aptly named the Rod of Razors. The more interesting item to you is this baton that sort of sits at his side, a short green metal baton that seems to blink with these, what would be in our terms, LEDs on its side. Roll me another crafting check for that, as that other device he wields piques your curiosity, I am sure. This time you can't be quite sure of its intentions or what it does, but it's another very high-tech sort of Numerian device that he's brought from that place. And, well, you imagine that those blinking lights mean something about maybe how much power it has, but you have no idea what it actually does. Nevertheless, is there anything you guys do before the king approaches?
I have a question.
Hmm?
Did they take our arms and
Oh, they have not. Not at all.
We're here for a tournament, after
Oh,
all.
that's a good sign.
Mhm.
they also
trust
must
us.
be very confident in their security.
Or that.
Mr. pushes Kaba forth. Their resident, speak to new people guy.
Miss
Yeah, I'm gonna step forward.
Alright, Kiba, you step forward, Castruccio and his guards finally break through the crowds as Irovetti sort of opens his arms wide and speaks with this booming, sort of full voice. Friends, yes, welcome, finally. I was hoping that you would get my invitation in time. I know how, well, difficult to travel your lands can be.
It is no bother at all. We wouldn't miss this for the world.
No, actually, I would miss it if
Ash,
our kingdom was in danger, but I'm glad I'm able to make it.
Oh, but any man at the head of a kingdom would defend it with their life. Well, Of course, if you don't have other servants to do that business for you, I hear you have quite the hands-on approach to your kingdom. Tell me, what was it that you did last? What grand defense of your kingdom have you, well, defended it against?
The most recent? That would be protecting our lands from the pretender heir to Armag, the barbarian from the west.
Aha, yes. I do think that I see that blade across your shoulders as well. I have heard of
very
its
same.
powers. Heard of its, well, spirit within. Well, it seems we all have gained the fortunes of our adventuring, as he sort of brandishes the rod of razors a little bit. How shall we... Sorry, go ahead.
I'm extremely fascinated by that weapon you wield.
Oh, but perhaps you'll see a demonstration of its power in time, though it is quite limited in its own right. I can't be showing it off willy-nilly. But I'm certain there are many chroniclers and, well, bards in my nation who can tell you of the glories that I have gained with this weapon. I can even tell you how I got it, but that's a story for them to say, not me.
I look forward to hearing it then, at some point.
I'll be listening.
Well,
Not
come,
when the fade.
let us get away from all of this hubbub around. The, well, small folk can get in the way sometimes, as I'm sure you know.
Oh, yes, indeed.
As he makes
Well,
way,
they always have such interesting stories to share.
he seems quite confident as he leaves what seem to be called the Pitaxian Wardens behind, sort of basically like the Secret Service, sort of at his backs as he allows himself a little bit more distance from them up to the shore here. Servants, please, bring them refreshments. I'm sure they are, well, quite parched from their journey.
Insane pauldron game.
As
So impressive.
these many servants rush up to you to shower you in wines and grapes and all of the, well, finer tastes of this nation, Irovetti sort of leans back on sort of the rod of razors as it allows him to stand a little bit. Not because he needs it, but just because it's casual. So, please, tell me, are you competing in this tournament?
Absolutely. Of course.
I'm certainly considering it. It's been a good few months since I last got to really let myself loose.
Oh, but you're short. I've always kept myself busy from, well, court matters to hunting in my royal preserve. Perhaps I should allow you some of the game out there sometime. Would want to hunt and see your prowess, but that is perhaps a effort for a different time. You see, I was hoping that you would partake in the games. In fact, I was hoping that each one of you would partake in some of the 4 games that we have in store, the 4 real tournament festivities that we have in the coming 4 days. It would be remiss for you not to show off your skills to the world at large of the River Kingdoms.
Wow, 4 games, one for each of the participants here.
I know at the very least some of us are definitely eager to do so. I don't want to speak for all of us. I look at each of you.
No, this sounds like fun.
And fun it shall be. You will be competing against many of the other River Kingdoms, but you will also be competing against my champions. You perhaps already have met one of them.
Are they one of the wardens
Very possible.
about this?
Oh, heavens no, those wardens are good for guarding and fighting, not for performance, and the arts that go into that, no. She is someone you met before, Animate Bellavara.
Oh,
I distinctly
Oh.
recall saving her life. Yes.
We are acquainted.
Saving her life. Oh, I heard quite a different story, but, well, you know bards, they like to embellish things.
She was, at the very least, a pleasant conversation.
Of course, but she will only be competing against you during the boasting games. In all three of the other ones, I have my particular champion, Villamor Koth. He used to run with me in Numeria, and now he takes to the, well, prize of his loyalty to me by partaking in these games and having all the meat and wine and women he wants. And he likes the third as most of any. Sort of chuckles at that. Well, you don't seem to be too much for words. You have nothing to say before my magnanimous figure, before meeting another king of a realm next to yours?
I'm sure there's plenty to say. Do understand we just had a very tiring walk. It's not that we lack interest, it's... I was listening to what you were saying. I'm certainly intrigued about the rest of these events.
Sort of clasps his
listen more than I
hands
talk.
behind his back for a moment, turns around, pensively sort of walks a few steps and turns back towards you. I think that we can be candid, can't we?
I don't see why not.
And perhaps you will, want to ask a few questions about what has happened in the past between our kingdoms. Perhaps we should, air things out, get them all out of the way, without it souring any relations. So please, ask what you will. I am all ears.
We did certainly have some concerns in the past about some, I almost want to say envoys from Pitax, particular merchant of sorts. Oh, is there a good explanation for his actions?
Oh, you mean all those years ago with that oaf that I sent your way? I wanted him to, well, appraise the situation. Of course, he seemed to take a step too far in, well, lambasting your people. I think you dealt with him quite well, in fact.
We certainly could have done better.
But you know our people. Our merchants have always been, well, people who don't shut their mouths to say. Our people don't. We speak our minds. We speak what we want to say about, well, those we like or dislike. You'll learn that quite often as you get to know the other competitors and, well, the other people of my nation.
Of course, of course.
So, I hope that means that you won't take too much offense to what they have said. And, well, how minor of an event it really was.
It truly was. I did very much get the impression that it largely was an issue of scoping things out, so to speak, getting a feel for how we ran things. And perhaps in his case, perhaps a little bit of jealousy in some ways.
Of course, and I have heard of the ruggedness of your land, the ruggedness of your people. How they toil each and every day to make use of what a, well, wild land yours is. Of course.
It only makes our people stronger.
Oh, I wouldn't imply otherwise. Your people are very strong, very hardy people.
Oh, that's true. A very passionate people as well, that are proud of their lands and everything that they've accomplished. I do think that we could stand to have good relations. Be good neighbors. Invest in trade.
Good relations. Good manners. Well, that would be the case, but I feel the need to ask you about something. Something that you partook in. Overreaching. In terms of one of my subjects.
Do explain.
You of course remember the one, Hannes Drelev?
Yes?
Well, all I am seeking is a bit of an explanation. You seem to have taken it upon yourselves to take over Drelev's domain.
In a manner of speaking, however, the truth is, of course, slightly more complicated than that. Are you ready to listen?
Oh, I am all ears. Please, I would like you to explain this.
It all started merely as a visit of sorts. Mostly to announce our presence and to declare that we had taken out a very serious threat along the trade routes between our lands, and it turned into an ambush. We simply couldn't help but to defend ourselves, and what we learned very quickly was that Drelev himself wanted to bite off more than he could chew. He was intending on taking us out of the picture and stealing our lands. So naturally we had to fight back. We had no choice.
He held a knife to our throat. Mostly because he was at threat from the Tiger Lords. We offered to help, but he didn't want diplomacy.
It's because he had a knife at his throat by somebody else. Kind of stares at him.
A knife at a
seem that
throat does not drive a man to what insanity he was trying to do. He was perhaps too eager for his own good. I say, he got what he deserved. And I'm, well, at this point only thankful that you put him down before he caused both of our kingdoms more problems. He was, perhaps we can both agree, a rabid dog that wouldn't take to either of our, well, yokes.
I would agree with your assessment entirely. It's a shame. The man clearly was not cut out for his position.
Clearly. And it seems that you got to him first, stumbled into the opportunity as I hear it. Nevertheless, I trust this will cause no lasting problems between our kingdoms.
I should certainly hope not.
I don't see why it would.
I suppose it depends on how many more madmen pop up around our kingdom.
Heh.
Oh, I'm sure that your kingdom can handle a merchant or two that runs their mouth a little too much. You see, in the river kingdoms, Daggermark is a threat just as likely to cause trouble as my kingdom. We all have to have our feelers out. You don't do any espionage yourselves, are you to say?
I wouldn't go that far to say that.
Of course, yes. Oh, you seem to have hired kobolds for the job, but that's neither here nor there. I'm sure they're very good creatures at the job.
Yes, the best. I can assure you.
Oh, they talk too. Excellent. I was wondering if they were able to speak our common language. I know they can squeak interconic. I've slewn quite a few of them in my own time up in the Selin Hills of Numeria. These are your spy masters, yes? The ones I heard about?
No,
No.
they are fellow lords of Skillport.
Lords. Ah, well. Seems you put your faith in them. Very well. I won't judge based on your retinue. I certainly have my own, followers that are none too savage.
Indeed. Nobody among this group is truly savage. We are all We're all civilized people. I absolutely implore you to remember that.
Oh, of
It's
course, yes. There is a
very much a
certain
matter of
nobility to it.
yes. And this one, I gestured toward Yarmosir, as a very good example, is very much nobility among his kind.
Ah, but among their own kind, yes, a chieftain of a sort.
You're
Much,
very well versed.
much one can know about kobolds. But we're not here to talk about those creatures. We're here to enjoy these festivities, and I won't take up too much more of your time. As much of a lesson I have gained from talking to you, I have many other things to attend to. If you so ever wish to speak to me again, just come by my tent up the hill there. And, by the way, I have requisitioned for you all your own tent at the Royal Blue, as it were, the pond up the hill there, as a few of the nation's champions residing at our behest. So if there's anything you require, ask one of the servant girls.
And if you ever wish to talk art sometime, I'll be all ears.
Well, you want to talk art, go to the Academy of the Arts stand up there. Atelier Guitarin will, well, tell you all about the arts of Pitax, the grand arts of this city that I have spent many years pouring funds into and patronizing. I do hear, though, another turkey leg calling to me.
Ooh, you better get that then.
As he saunters off, guards following suit.
Now that does sound tempting, doesn't it?
I don't
That is
trust him at
certainly
all.
one way to sour the beginning of this vacation.
He seems like such a nice man. I wonder what he's plotting.
I'm sure he's plotting a lot.
I'm very impressed with his knowledge.
Much as I
Yeah.
enjoyed meeting someone else from the Mary, I want to strangle him in his sleep.
I don't blame you. I didn't like how he was talking about you and Yarmos, but
Please refrain from
It
strangling
makes
him in his
sense.
sleep.
given how many would interact with those of your kind.
It
No.
makes me question why we don't have more information about them ourselves.
Indeed.
No promises, Keeper. No promises.
I'm sure there will be plenty of other opportunities.
With that,
Besides, maybe we can somehow stay on his good side. Whatever that means.
Will do keep me out of future conversations with him. I took up position as viceroy, so I would only have to deal with my own people.
Very understandable.
I'm
that-
admittedly further invested in trouncing him now, or at least his champions in combat, or contest, or whatever.
We should have asked him what these competitions even were.
I tried.
you hear a call. You hear Castruccio's booming voice. Nunzio, go and introduce our new champions to the tournament rules. And you see sort of this thin but boisterous sort of tournament lead fellow rush up to you. Ah, yes, welcome. Your esteemed guests of Irovetti. I personally guide you through each of the tournaments. Nunzio Arpaia at your service. Games Master, shall we say?
Excellent. So you would be the one the ideal person to talk to, well, to learn from, I should say, about the games up ahead of us.
Of course, and I will dispense with the specifics of the rules of each of them, but I hope with the gist of it you can understand where each of your skills may be applied best. First, today, in about a few hours or so, will be the log-splitting competition. All over the River Kingdoms, well, many lumberjacks and, well, strongmen have strived to gain purchase against our tournament, as you are tasked to strike down as many logs, 4 logs in quick succession before any other competitor doing it. Think of it like a hot dog eating contest. You do it fast. except it's with your brute strength using the axes we provide.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
Second on the list for the second day of the tournament will be the archery competition. Of course, there is much of a culture of archery in our lands, especially our king is an avid hunter himself. So, if you're good with a bow, take part in that. On the third day, there will be a boasting competition. So if you are quick with word and silver-tongued, compete against enemy Bellavara and the other bards of the River Kingdoms there. Finally, though, the most important of all of the, competitions of the tournament is the Drunken Joust. Well, that's the colloquial name. The official name is the Midnight Joust. But it has been a common factor for all the competitors to drink themselves near to silliness before mounting their horse, charging a field.
To be able to hold the liquor, hopefully I'll be.
Certainly an interesting set of challenges.
Of
I feel
course.
like Giraffe is going to have his hands full here.
I'll
Yep.
certainly be interested in watching all 4 of these. I wish to give you great luck in handling these tasks.
Oh, Yamo is here. Could you stay here for a second? From what I remember, you are decent enough with a bow, right?
Crossbows only. These sound like, well, it wouldn't be much of a competition if it's only about pushing buttons, would it? I assume these contests will be using longbows or something of the sort.
Oh, of course, yes.
I
Finding
know a
vehicle.
bit.
I can use a bow, if needed.
So can I, but I'm more of a swing my fists around guy than a aim well person. I would fit more at home chopping wood than I would wielding a bow.
If you have any other questions, come and find me, but for now I will allow you to deliberate amongst yourselves, and do make sure to see some of the stalls, some of the other merchants around here. Some of the items are a little bit underpriced for what you would usually try to find, just for the tournament's sake. So,
I do have a quick one while you are here.
Oh yes.
Are there limits as to how many people from each place, from each group, can participate in an individual event?
Ideally, you would show the skills of each of you. There would not be a repeat in your, attendance of them. The only nation, the only one that will have any repeating contenders, as far as I know, is Pitax, with Villamor Koth, as he is the sort of reigning champion of the Midnight Joust, but also Castruccio's personal champion. So he'll be participating in the other 3 competitions, or the other 2 besides the Joust. And then he won't be, of course, boasting. It'll be animated Bellavara.
No, naturally, yes.
But amongst
So,
your skills, I do see easy opportunities for each of you to shine.
Well, thank you for your opinion on the matter.
Of course. You know where to find me. Brushes off.
So we should ideally have coverage in each of the 4 events. One of them we might have 2 people involved with.
I prefer axes, so the first event should be plenty of fun for me.
I wanna wipe Irovetti's smirk off his face, so I wanna be his personal champion in the joust.
I certainly have no objection to that.
Nor do I.
I will act as moral support.
The parent is quite good at boasting, is he not?
That's more of a Kiba thing.
I'm certain I can at the very least go up against that woman. Ganymede.
perhaps.
I don't doubt it.
Why is
So-
the Swamp Witch from south of Skillport here?
Why is she?
I was just about to go find out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So,
Oh, I hadn't noticed.
you guys do see a familiar face sort of walking out from this sort of pretty regally appointed sort of green and gold tent here, sort of allowing a crying woman sort of a little bit of a helping hand.
Don't worry, sweetie. The spirits sometimes are a little bit creative. It's not certain that you will lose your child, but here are some herbs I've written down that you might be able to use. Just don't go worshipping the Mashtu or something, or Girona. They won't help you, they will only turn it into a monster. Ah, I seem to have other guests.
As the sort of tearful-eyed woman steps away.
My work is never done, is it? Neither is yours, it seems.
That way.
You'll
I
be
see.
happy to hear that we're not here for your assistance, but it's nice to see you again.
Of course, yes. From time to time, I am known to travel to places where people are, well, drunk out of their minds and full of coin for festivities. I naturally ply my trade here of, well, fortune-telling as much as I can. To gain some of that gold I've been looking for.
well, it's not quite what I expected to find you, but it's very nice to see that your services can be found anywhere across these lands now.
Well, it's certainly your fault for that. I'm no longer a hermit witch of the woods in a forgotten section of the world. It is now all settled, and people come barging down my door for, well, remedies and fortunes all the time. So at least I can travel and get some silence at that point. But yes, it has been good for business too.
I guess word had spread a little more than I expected. I'm deeply sorrowful about that.
Oh, it is no matter. I have gotten used to it. But while I am here, I could read your fortunes, if you so wish. Perhaps they have something to say.
I certainly wouldn't turn that down.
Neither would I. It certainly proved very astute in the past.
Well then, as a group, we should say, ask me a question that could be answered with a yes or no, and we will see if the spirits have anything to say about it. I am quite versed in this craft, so the spirits will not give me false answers. Free of charge.
I have a question, maybe, if you all are okay with me asking it.
You'll
Run
think
it
of a
by
better
us
one
first,
than me,
perhaps.
so
Well, I really want to know if people are going to be cheating in these games.
Good
In the
question.
ground, will be.
Sorry, Yomus.
No, just making a comment on the question.
Hmm.
Do you have something better to ask?
No, this is in support. Although I suppose maybe something else about whether one of us will win would be a bit more direct. But if it'll help us actually get there, then I'd like to hear it as well.
It might give us a chance to counteract some of these things that might be happening.
I can tell you a truth. I cannot tell you where your fortunes lie. I mean, I can try, but that is much more difficult than telling you a current truth.
Then I will ask, is anybody intending to cheat in these games?
Sort of takes up this crystal ball that she has in her pocket, a pocket-sized one. Let us see, and you see some magic being worked. This sort of, I mean, it's all occult magic, so you can, mix it up, but it's not some fake fortune that she is going to give, for you guys, at least.
Ah, yes. The answer is a unanimous yes. There are many cheats and others amongst those competing.
Not surprised.
You would do well to watch out for them. Perhaps getting to know some of the other competitors. You'll see many of them out and about currently.
I should check if the rules allow me to cave the face in of anyone who's cheating.
Draft, let us not go to this level of violence immediately, please.
Well, not immediately, just after the game.
We need to keep our actions subtle.
And now that we know they're probably going to be cheating, we can keep our eyes out for ways to circumvent it.
This might not be the most subtle of questions, but I do wonder, is Irovetti plotting something with this?
You have asked your free question, and even though you are rightfully my lieges, I do require coin for my services. 10 gold pieces, and I will tell you the answers to that too.
Gas hands her the money.
Irovetti, speak of his spaghetti or something. As you...
Parents laugh.
Yeah, that his spaghetti.
The
I'm never
spirits.
I never
Okay.
tire of Pitax jokes.
Pitax, Irovetti spaghetti, yes. So, Fortuccio, as my other groups called him. As she takes up the question, I believe I can tell you, yes, he plans something. This isn't just a tournament.
Oh, right. I guess that figures.
I answered
Francis is going
yes to your question.
Francis is going to nudge Kiba. Can you let somebody in the town know to be on full guard?
You want me to do what?
I thought Kiba had like a ring of communication or something.
It allows me to cast message.
Annual message. That's like the once per day. That goes pretty far.
It does
It's-
go pretty far, doesn't it?
Mhm.
I forgot about the animal messenger on it. I'm always like, when do I ever need to use message? I don't know.
Yeah, you can dispatch a message like so.
Just send something to Keston so that he's aware something might happen. Just in
Are there any
case.
are there any tiny animals that can travel that far in 24 hours?
Birds?
Birds. Mm-hmm. 24 hours, easily over 100 miles. I think.
See?
In this world, there's some bird that can do that. Either way.
Well, it's in our benefit, so I'm not about to pull out the calculator.
Well, I could certainly do that for us.
Better safe than sorry. They can stand to be on full guard for 4 days. Next is a good drill.
That's true. Or at the very least, have our scouts busy.
They should be alert anyways. Not like actively, but passively.
So Kiba, as you go off to find a bird to impart the intention that I'm hearing from your message to be fully alert, send out scouts, stuff like that, Ilga Verniex, the witch woman that you had, encountered just as your kingdom was beginning to grow, nods to each of you as a bit of a line has been forming. Though I must admit, I have other clients that I could easily attend to, and my magical powers have waned from your questions. Come back tomorrow if you have something very specific to ask, and perhaps we can do more.
Of course.
Perhaps we can.
Who'd you
And
say
since
was
it's
waiting?
always
Take care.
Just
A
a
line
line
of
of people. Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So, as you guys are getting into the tournament grounds here, this is sort of the main fairgrounds that you guys will be spending a bit of time in. You'll see many, many people around with all their tokens. They are anybody that you can speak to. There are, of course, other peoples in the crowd, but these are the people that you recognize either as important people of Pitax
or as competitors, competition for you guys. So, pick out anybody and you can go speak to them, see who they are, what their deal is, something like that. And the other thing I will note is the shops. These shops, you'll find specific magic items that are 10% off. That's not included in the price there, so give yourself 10% back if you ever buy anything from here, from any of these 3 shops that you see. But, that being said, it's now up to you guys. You can split up if you want to. I can handle different conversations at once. You can just generally gather information with the diplomatist check. This is your oyster. Do what you wish with it. That's how it goes, right?
The world's your oyster.
What if I don't like seafood?
More for me.
If I had 41 more platinum, I could buy this pair of boots that has my eyes. Specifically the boots abounding, because that flat movement speed increase is the big thing.
I thought I saved a lot of money, but apparently not enough.
Yeah.
Oh, and one other thing that didn't get imparted, Nunzio would have said, besides the wondrous mansion from the wand, there's also 8,000 gold pieces as a reward for winning.
Oh my. No.
Money that we can spend on buying stuff from here after, or
Yeah.
it'll be gone by then.
No, it won't be gone. You'll be able to
wonderful.
spend the money that you make and buy things too. So yeah, all things to look at, consider, and people's around. You were told about the Academy of the Arts having a tent here, and yeah,
That's certainly my second stop.
the first Kiba,
Something
though.
appears to have caught Kiba's eyes.
Ah, I think I know.
I think I know too.
It's caught every Shovel Knight's eyes in every one of my games. Songbird's brush.
Excuse me.
Oh, yes, oh, you look like you could actually afford what I am selling here. Then I'll introduce myself. Zephyr Yasmina, at your service. Proprietor of All Arms.
You can call me Kiba, Baron of Scaleport.
Baron. Oh, you are one of the barons. Yes, you definitely have some coin in your pockets. Very well. If you have no qualms with where, well, the items that you're buying came from in the first place, we can do business.
No qualms about it.
Parith, throw me a society check as you're looking at Zephyr here.
Okay.
She seems to obviously have the garb of Cheliax. She is a Cheliaxian merchant who's come here, it seems.
So what does that mean for her previous statement?
Cheliax is a fascist dictatorship ruled by devil worshippers.
Oh,
And they're slavers and, yes, horrible people. Extremely fascistic, basically the most fascist nation in Galarian.
maybe not all of
Wow.
them, right?
I wasn't ready for that description.
I mean, the best way I can describe it is fascistic. Like, Cheliax is literally a nation of devil worshippers, so they do all the lawful evil stuff. Slavers, all of it.
Man, and here I was wishing some of the endgame items from my game were here.
So, can we do some deals?
As much as I would like to immediately, I'm very curious about that glaive I see over there.
I thought I saw the charm of Shelyn upon you. You do wield quite a grisly blade on your back for her grace. This would be much more suited to you.
That I cannot deny.
If it has caught your gleaming eye, perhaps, if you don't have the particular funds at the moment, we could strike a bit of a deal.
See, I'm in a bit of a strange spot at the moment, and you seem to have the resources that I could make use of.
I'm listening.
I am not a traveling merchant, so to say. Rather, I have put my roots down here in Pitax. It is where I found myself a trading house that was doing quite poorly on their books, and I had a lot of funds, and I wanted to get out of Cheliax to do my business elsewhere. Not too many rules. So now that I have acquired one of the trade houses in Pitax, I was wondering if you could come and speak to me, and if we can do any deal-making within Pitax after these tournaments. I'm sure you'll find yourselves within the city at some point.
I would be surprised if we did not.
Very well. I will put it aside for you, and perhaps if we do make a deal in the future, I shall grant it to you at a much lower price.
I will be keeping you in mind for sure.
For now, though, we will speak no more of what I wish to speak to you of in Pitax, as I fear for prying eyes around here. Too many voices, too many ears and eyes on everyone around.
That's a safe thing to say.
Certainly.
It's also a very understandable one.
Enjoy yourselves.
Keep an eye out for me in the tournament.
If I even deign to watch them.
It might be fun.
Fun for me is making coin, and I'm not making coin if I'm watching a game. I could mix the two, perhaps.
Perhaps you could.
Now, as for
I
the...
shall leave that to you then.
As for the rest of you, Giraffe, Yarmsir, and Gaz, did you guys have any particular people that you wanted to meet or talk to, anything of that sort?
What's with these two goers here? They look like they're going to be in the tournament.
We do see a dwarf hefting a big axe upon her back, and an elven woman of a striking feature. Seems easily to your mind by the insignia that she has on her shield and the yellow and black to be a Callistrian worshipper. You've met one before.
Callistra.
Savored Sting, the goddess of pleasures and revenge.
Oh, yeah, we have, haven't we? Thank you.
In Restov, yes.
Aye, and I'm going to teach all of them how to actually strike a log. All those other competitors I see, well, they're just strongmen. They don't know how to actually swing an axe. Not like me. And, oi, who are you?
A fellow appreciator of axes, it seems.
Hey, but you're not using them in the proper way. They're meant to chop logs, chop trees, and that's it. Ain't meant to chop bone.
Giraffe shows off his mambale. This is a weapon of my people that has been used likely for longer than you've lived, despite the fact that you're a dwarf.
Aye, mayhaps it has. But you, well, you say axes, but that don't look like an axe to me.
It swings like one. Though, I heard we're gonna have to be provided axes, not use our own.
Oh, don't bother, Dizon. You'll get your just dues soon enough, as I will, in the boasting competition.
Well, we'll see who comes out on top on that one. Best of luck to you.
Hey, best of luck. And for the purpose of it as well, you guys could figure out what any of the strategies could be of any of the competitors. They have particular ways they might go about things, so
that's something you could try to figure out or ask about even. Whatever you'd like. But for the purpose of it, Gaz and Yarmus here. Over on the right here. Anything catch your eye?
Gaz is definitely checking out the food stands.
You're wide.
He's interested in the gentleman in blue on the right here.
Mm-hmm. See a wide variety of different flavors of pretzels and beers and vegetables and coffees and anything of the sort. All very much River Kingdom's, rustic but also stylish in a way. And as this man is walking away from that stand there, he seems to have 2 mugs in hand, both for himself as he chugs them down. Hey, you get out of my way! I almost stepped on you, little thing. Slurring
What are
his
you
words
calling
a bit.
little?
Well, I have to crane my neck down to look at you. You're a bit small.
Maybe smaller size, but I'm a baron. You better keep that in mind.
A baron? Baron from where? I ain't heard of no kobold baron.
Gaz is a bit stunned at that. Well, I'm one of the kobold barons of Scalepoint. One of the 2, I would say.
Scareport? Oh, yeah. Well, I don't care about politics. I'm here to ride a horse. And I'm gonna ride it like anything else. As I raise in Castruccio's the drunken jouster for Mivon.
Oh, taking part in the joust, are you?
I can hold my drink as best in it as anyone, and I'm gonna prove that you don't need to just be tipsy. I'm gonna make it a thing for everyone to be smashed. That's more fun, that's more like it. Men getting kicked off their horses and bucked off them. I think that's more funny than poking people with sticks, lances.
Certainly. It's certainly a fun scene to be thinking about, indeed. Though, aren't you starting a bit early with the whole getting pissed drunk?
Oh no, this is how I get ahead of the curb. I'll keep drinking until the time. You never had a bender before. You can keep going as long as you keep drinking.
Gaz seems to think back about some of his past events. Well, I certainly can confirm that. I have been through some very, very deep drinking binges in the past. Perhaps
Aye.
I should indulge a little.
And you got the gut for it too.
He pats his stomach. It's a bit of padding for the joust, you know?
Hey, oh, me and me drinks have a bit of a date to go on, if you'll excuse me.
He stumbles up the little stairs up from the food stands there. You wonder how much of a competitor he really will be.
Mercer cuts in line in front of Gas to get a pretzel first.
Gaz swears.
Giraffe's going after a turkey leg.
Alright, single file. You see a halfling behind the counter. Alright, I can serve each of you. You look like you're
yes.
new around here.
Just arrived, but I imagine you'd see a lot of new faces given the festivities coming in these coming days.
Hey, a lot of hungry faces, but none as hungry as the king's champion. I have to get a dozen turkey legs ready immediately for him.
Oh
He'll
yes,
eat all of them.
he's participating in pretty much all the competitions, isn't he?
Oh yeah, that's him.
As his halfling's running around, acquiring food and such.
He comes by here every single day. He's already been by since you arrived, and he'll probably be back later tonight, too. Aye.
His name seems very large around here, but I can't say us foreigners know much about him.
Oh, he's a barbarian from Numeria. Irovetti brought him along.
Great,
See.
another barbarian from Numeria, just what we needed.
Earliest, biggest one you've seen, though. He's a strongman type. He needs all that meat, I suppose, to keep himself alive. Else he'd wither away with all that muscle.
You're looking to beat him in a jousting competition, aren't you, Gaz? It looks like you'll need to
Indeed.
find a way to turn that against him.
I think I know a way or two. Not that I am plotting anything.
Well, you better keep this honest. Siren Ray was watching.
Of course I'll keep it honest. When have I ever been deceptive?
Overseer coughs as he takes a big bite of his pretzel.
Hey, well, I got more than where that came from. Come on, let's go. As he serves some other people there. Yarmsir, was there anyone in particular we were talking to, or just that was it?
Well, I was initially kind of interested in this guy with the floating tomatoes.
The dice.
Oh,
Magic cherry tomatoes.
As, yeah, you go up to the other stall, you get your pretzel. It gives him enough time to step away with what seems to be some sort of coffee in his hand. Sits down for a moment, sort of seems to fidget a little bit, always throwing sort of something in hand, either coins or dice or something. One of those people who could really use a fidget spinner.
Your Overseer passes by as he chews on his pretzel, and it peers over. Ah, you got the regalia of an adventurer about you. Are you another traveler in these parts?
Oi, regalia. I mean, I suppose I do. Yeah, I do. You do too, I think. I see a lot of potions on you. Ueth Villadkani. Surprised you haven't heard of me.
Well, for what would you be famous for? I might have heard of you.
Well, I'm something of a charlatan down in Daggermark, but everyone's a charlatan from there if you ask me. I know how to, gamble the right way, and, with these fingers of mine I could flip any card or adjust the roll of any dice to my favor. It's all skill, I tell you, no magic needed for all this.
That does sound quite like the dagger mark trademark. You're Overseer, by the way. No last name. I suppose that's something that's only of those of my ilk have.
Of course, yes. But, I'll be, I don't have anything, there's no gambling competition, so I signed up to represent Daggermark in the archery competition. I have enough manual dexterity to make use of them bows. Shot a few in my time.
You got any techniques for them?
But I will let you know, it's all about flair. It's all about not necessarily technique. It is gathering the energy of the crowd, allowing that to energize you, and to do so, well, my actions have a certain braggadocio to them.
Well, everything seems to have that, from what I see.
Oh, but I am a special sort. If you've seen the other archery competitors, they're going to try to just use skill alone, but I know the feel of the crowd, of the performance, of the, misdirection of my other competitors to distract them as well. But, you'll see it soon enough, I'm sure.
I'll be glad to. I'm just here for the show anyways.
Of course. Well, good day to you. I have a coffee in my hand, and I'm
You as
wanting
well.
to drink it. So, with that, you all have a chance to reconvene a little bit as you've each sort of spoken to someone around here, and maybe do something all together, if you so wish.
So we'll probably get away from people a little bit. Nice. So this axe chopping competition is today, yes? Are you ready for that, Giraffe?
Draft, you might be muted.
I feel ready for it. As long as this... Yeah, I feel just fine.
What have you learned about it? What's your strategy?
Well, I'm gonna chop logs with an axe. What more strategy do I need?
Anybody could chop with an axe.
But not everybody can do it skillfully and quickly.
Mm-hmm. I have armband. I have the lifting belt, and wait, no, that doesn't do anything. The armband of athleticism invested in, so that increases my bonus. But other than that, I don't think I have anything that will help increase my modifier. Granted, my modifier is really good, so I'm actually not worried about it.
We imagine, from what people have told you, it's a test of striking with an axe.
Oh, test of striking with an axe. So not athleticism, but okay. Let's be honest, guys.
Hmm?
My weapon specialization is in axes. I
Oh
have
my gosh.
legendary proficiency with simple and martial axes.
You got this in the bag.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's what I'm
Sure.
thinking. Like, aside from like special attack bonuses like bless, I don't think there's anything that could push me further.
That's great.
have
Since you're
we-
also going to do the bow competition after, right?
The bull competition. What
The
was that one again?
archery.
archery competition.
Oh, that. I'm rusty. I haven't really been practicing with the Sky Strike.
I mean, these hands aren't really meant for shooting a bow unless they let me shoot magical arrows.
Sky Bolt.
And if Yarmos here isn't into it, I suppose I could do it.
I'm not bad with a bow. Don't get me wrong. I prefer. Like, I could definitely do the archery contest if you needed me to.
I wonder if you can make that bloodthirst thing look like one of the axes that are used for the competition.
Karen, that would be cheating.
Can I ask that?
Hmm?
If I were to make the bloodthirst look like a battle axe, would it be distinguishable from a normal axe?
You got the impression for both the archery, all the martial ones, they're going to give you equipment. You can't
Yeah,
bring
I
in your
figured.
own.
I heard
So,
that.
so,
Yeah.
you, so you couldn't, like, sneak in your own, basically.
I mean, you could try, but Bloodthirst has that particular red edge to it. You
Oh,
doubt
no.
Bloodthirst
Yeah,
would
that's
be
what I
useful
was
for it.
thinking. And I don't want to cheat. For as much as
No.
I'd love to use the bloodthirst.
You should be aware that the others are going to be cheating, probably.
I know.
Imagine if we could beat them without true skill.
See, keep it cancel.
I could cast haste on you before you go over there.
I'm certainly interested in perhaps giving the personal champion of Irovetti a little something before the thing starts to give a giraffe a little edge.
Yeah, that's all I can think. If there was some kind of food item I could eat beforehand.
Yamuzia,
Okay.
you do dabble in those kinds of things. You wouldn't have something on hand, would you?
Well, it's been a long time since I've brewed any alcohols. I'm afraid I don't have any moonshine.
I wasn't exactly thinking moonshine.
What are you thinking?
It's, something to debilitate him in a way.
What? Poison him?
Well, I wouldn't say poison him, just, debilitate him.
Just poison him lightly, is what you mean.
Yes.
Or just get him really drunk.
Sorry, frowns on such duplicity.
I'm not
could
sure
do
I should be
better.
listening to this.
You hear, sort of right next to you guys, in fact. Come one, come all to the Academy of the Arts Showcase. All of our best works inside.
Kiba suddenly departs from the group.
What a convenient time distraction.
And as you step up, I do think I see a fellow Shillinite. Please, take part in, well, the grand arts that Pitax has to offer.
I have been looking forward to this since my arrival.
And, well, since you are such an esteemed guest, perhaps I could personally show you around.
Oh, would you? That would be a lot of fun.
He nods and beckons you inside. But as immediately as you step aside, you notice something about all the art here. You see statues of Irovetti. You see mosaics of Irovetti. You see portraits of Irovetti. And anything else that isn't Irovetti aggrandizes the city itself. Some of the gargoyles that seem to be the standard style of the city of Pitax, sort of on roofs being displayed, and, well, it all just seems not to aggrandize art itself, but just Irovetti and just his city.
Oh, nice.
As you can see,
How is the craftsmanship itself?
the craftsmanship is good. It's pretty decent. It's not bad art at all. But the reason for the art is a little bit strange. The woman Talia Guitarin sort of shows you around. Well, what do you think? It's all quite good art, isn't it? Students at the academy have worked quite a while to prepare for today.
The artists are skilled at their craft.
Why, yes. I teach them myself. I am headmistress of the Academy of the Arts.
Oh, as a Shellonite.
Of course, yes. What's a headmistress of an Academy for an Arts wouldn't worship the goddess, the patron goddess of art? Sort of.
Well, it does make sense, of course. Although,
Yes? What do you think?
where's the expression?
Expression? It's very expressive. It expresses Irovetti's many guises, his triumphs, and it expresses the city.
But what about the triumphs of the artists, their passions and their beliefs and their desires? What do they find beautiful?
Well, it's the triumphs of Irovetti that are the triumphs of the students. Without Irovetti, the academy would be nothing. Without his funds, without his go-ahead, it would be nothing. Anyway, it's no matter. You seem to have a different opinion of the art around here. Shellonites, of course. We can disagree. Yes. Seems a little nervous.
Do we actually disagree?
Roll diplomacy check.
Working on it. Clicking is hard.
Mm-hmm.
Redoing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not happy with the 27.
Well,
I'll take a 42 though.
Much better roll. She sort of grimaces for a moment, lowers her voice a little bit at a corner of the little showcase here. Look, it's all hideous, isn't it? I mean, it's art, but it doesn't evoke from the inside the spirit of what it should be. I know. Please don't take it as anything. It's an affront to Shillin. Any sort. Look, you may not know what Pitax is like for the artist, but it is a city of promises, but you end up having to follow certain rules around here. And in order to keep your job and livelihood, you kind of just have to let it go.
I think I see. It's no way for an artist to live.
No, it certainly isn't, but there's nothing we could rightly do. I wouldn't want to endanger my students, even though many of them share privately the same ideas, same wants and quarrels with the powers that be.
Can they leave?
Not rightly. They have debts to the academy. But just, well, not have anything to work with elsewhere. It's the only place they could apply their craft and have any sort of future. Or there are some that do appreciate the friends around them. Not so easy to just leave.
I would imagine not, especially if they cannot truly find something similar elsewhere.
It is rightfully a good Academy of the Arts. We have all the resources. It's far beyond here that you could find the same. Look, if we can't speak too much here.
No, we can't.
You ever find yourself in Pitax, come by the Academy of the Arts, under the disguise, I would hope, and perhaps we can discuss the matter more earnestly.
I can certainly try to do disguise, but I don't know how many other random people sport plumage as bright as mine.
You can find some arcane means as well. Look, just find your way to the Academy. Help us, help the students there. Perhaps you can give us some hope.
I will do everything in my power, although I may need to spend some time figuring out what that is.
Of course, yes. Well, I should get back to business. You should up your airs as well. Wish you a good day.
I'm glad to meet you.
Of course. With that, you head out and meet back up with your group. It is at this point that I do want to do a 5-minute break. So,
Okay.
for those of you watching, we'll be
Okay.
back in 5. In a bit.
Sounds good.
Alright, we're back. And with all that, the day becomes a little bit later, into the evening hours, and that's sort of when it seems that the log splitting competition will be commencing once the sun has set, though it's still sort of light enough out.
Yarmos here. Can you give Giraffe something that will help him?
Is that allowed?
I mean, if he has like a... What are those things you sent you for, the Fury cocktails? Wouldn't that help him a lot?
It might.
I mean,
Also-
nothing in the rules. In the rules, nothing was mentioned about it being forbidden. You know.
Well, maybe Giraffe doesn't have to know that he is, he's just having some juice or something.
I'm right here.
Listen, I'm just trying to help you.
It's 10
Not
minutes,
saying
so it'll have to
no.
be right before. I'll have to cook it up for him right before.
Nunzio Arpaia sort of begins to shout down from the hill that goes up to the north here. Alright, last call for all the competitors. The log splitting competition will be commencing in about 20 minutes. Don't keep us
Now we have a
waiting.
card ring.
Well, Giraffe, I believe in you.
Yep. I'm here for it.
I would say you have an even better shot at this than I do.
I mean, yeah, of course I do. I don't think you do bad.
Of course you do.
So
No,
you
I've
guys-
seen you with an axe. You're very, very impressive.
You guys head up?
Can I axe to participate in this competition?
Certainly could. Move you guys over.
Guys, once we win this competition, can I buy a wizard tower? They had one on display. They're really cool.
I want those
Where
boots.
would you put it?
Wherever I want. That's the fun of it.
I don't like how you say that.
Alright, here's a Giraffe's Fury cocktail.
Okay.
This one is going to be a skeptical one, just in case.
Mhm. So, as you guys arrive on the tournament field here, you see a grand pavilion that seems to be Irovetti's place, as you do see him up there, lavish with food to his side. See a grand field here, and many logs set up around it. You see a couple of other competitors make their entry into it and, well, place themselves amidst each of these logs. Bastion.
Yeah, I do accept Yarmos's gift.
We have a
Oh, yeah. Can I get the? Oh wait, no. You'll give me.
wait.
that.
Which one did you want?
Whatever you were giving me. Giraffe wasn't gonna ask questions.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the skeptical Fury cocktail. I thought you were about to ask for a specific flavor of cocktail.
No. I was gonna ask for the axe, but then I thought, hey, Corvus is probably gonna give me the axe when the competition.
Yeah.
Giraffe, make it flashy.
Giraffe gives a wink and a thumbs up, really cheesily.
So, as you guys take your place in the field, Giraffe, place in your own inventory a great axe, just a base great axe. If you press Control Space, you can probably drag one in there. They have provided that for the competition here. Or you can take 2 hatchets.
Is the competition about speed?
Yes, it's about how quickly, like being the first competitor to destroy the logs. I'll get the official rules out from Nunzio here in a second. And yeah, no, the stream's not on mute. I just turned off the music. I guess you guys can't hear the ambience in the background too much. So, I will put on different music for this. We'll do this here. There we go.
Grant is taking a very close look at these axes that all the competitors are using. He's trying to kind of suss out if they've replaced them or magicked them somehow.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the 2 hatchets because I use 2-weapon fighting.
All right. And yes, there we go. Sports growl.
Does Giraffe have the cocktail on? Yeah.
Cool.
So, Fury cocktail there. Let me see. Okay, sure. Certain initial effects depending on the item. It's an item bonus to attack rolls. Do you already have a +2 though?
You're
Do I?
giving him +0s.
Oh,
Yeah.
if he does, then probably we just let Pitax?
Yeah.
Question mark.
Oh, right. Yeah. Plus, duh.
Yeah, you're removing the
mhm.
magic weapon.
Sorry, I was distracted
Yeah,
by
no.
something for a second. Is that something you're gonna try to get by into this field here?
It seems like it. Seems like that's what Parent wants.
Okay.
Or just
So-
drink it before you
Uh,
go onto the field, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Just drink it, then won't count.
There are notable effects
Can't actually.
of the cocktail
Yeah.
that change your looks.
Oh, is there?
Yes. All mutagens do so. Polymorph effects. So there's always a polymorphing, there's always a transmogrification, like changing of the subject's body.
Well, I'll leave it up to Draft then if he wants to do that.
If it changes my appearance, then no, it's probably not worth it.
But you have legendary axes. The others are just using regular axes, it seems. Parents, roll me a perception check for you as you're sort of looking out on the field here, as everyone's getting ready out here.
Can I also eye up my competition?
Sure. Well, Giraffe, as you're eyeing them up, sort of you get shoulder checked by Villamor Koth as he walks by. Good luck. You're gonna need it.
Hey, is it against the rules for me to loudly sing during this entire competition?
If you want to try.
I
Remember that it is not just loudly singing, it is a magical effect if you're doing Inspire.
I know. I'm not doing it, don't worry.
It's alright. I always warn you guys before like letting you. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you should totally try it, and then the guards will or something. No, yeah. So, Giraffe, you look at the competition. You see this sort of woman here that seems to be very barbarian oriented. There seems to be a cleric of Gorum, as she has the sort of holy symbol of the blade in the mountain of Gorum. Dealt with Gorum a lot. Of course, you
He's
then
cool.
have Dizan Marmada, the dwarf. That's just a lumberjack, literally, not some strong man. And you also see, strangely, a very small figure. Definitely, especially to Parent's eye, a wizard of a sort. And you have a pretty standard-looking human male. He's a little bit scowly as he looks at the others. And, of course, the champion of Pitax, Villamor Koth, with that sort of shit-eating grin plastered across his face. He seems self-assured, braggadocious, like the best man in the room. At least he believes so.
He's a bit more tiger lord than I expected.
Since these logs have a red outline when I hover over them, can I consider them enemies?
For what purpose?
For the purpose of quick reversal.
You're not being flanked by them.
Darn!
You're not being
They don't
flanked
have a
by
melee
logs.
attack, unfortunately.
They could fall on him.
Assuming I could take out each log in one hit, quick reversal would let me take out all 4 logs in one turn.
Quick reversal is to be seen like in those fighting movies where like somebody's rushing up behind the hero too, and they know they're coming, but they don't even turn to slice like behind themselves. That sort of thing. It's like if there's a threat behind you and you respond to it very quickly, not just strike on both sides.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hmm.
Glad we
Yeah.
got that cleared up
Lady.
now.
Parent, you should be up there as well.
Grant is
Nunzio-
kind of looking at the wizard kind of inquisitively.
You roll me an Arcana check as Nunzio Arpaia is stepping into the field here. Welcome, welcome all to the test of the axe. By, of course, the favor of Castruccio Irovetti himself, have I the honor of opening the games of the Rushlight Tournament. Now please, listen in,
I know this is boring for you, and I know half of you are half drunk yourselves. There's a laugh from the crowd. Please clap. No. The rules are simple. Weapons have been provided to the competitors, either double hand hatchets or a great axe. And despite the look of Timsina, everyone else is using a great axe. Giraffe's the only one that's with hatchets, right? Yes. There are 4 logs in between or around each competitor. The competitors can move, though they cannot cross the threshold into somebody else's logs, nor can they interfere with anybody else's logs. The fastest amongst you to slice through all of the logs gains 2 points for your kingdom. Second gets 1 point. Whoever is the total of all the competitors at the end of the competition, of course, wins the grand prize of 8,000 gold pieces and a new home, in the form of a wand, of course. With that all being said, competitors are allowed to enhance themselves in any way they can, but only by their own means. And, well, beyond that, I think you can figure it out for yourselves. Ready your axes, gentlemen and ladies. We will begin as soon as the Grand King Irovetti gives the signal. As Irovetti comes to a stand, the crowd goes a bit silent. And as Giraffe raises the axe, it gleams in the air. Villimer sort of spits at the ground, sort of growling over towards Giraffe, knowing and recognizing a bit of strength. Irovetti lowers his hand. I need initiative from you, Giraffe.
Okay, since I'm rolling initiative, I can use Laughing Noel's battle cry.
Okay.
Oh boy.
First, I'm
Oh,
gonna
boy.
roll initiative. I was really wondering if you were gonna have us roll initiative.
Oh, yeah.
The log rolled a 19.
Yep, one of the
I
logs
want
on
to
into.
demoralize Villamore Cough. Just taunt him as I start.
Absolutely, that's certainly allowed. Roll your demoralize.
Yeah, demoralize as
It's a free action.
a free action. And it's a intimidation.
Yeah, roll your intimidation. As you sort of growl over back towards Villamor Koth, sort of shrugs his shoulders. I've heard cubs do better than that. You better hope that I don't get a chance to return the favor, Pipsqueak. But it's just enough of a distraction for him to be going after you, Giraffe. But the other competitors, some of them get a go-ahead first. First, Timsina Sharaj raises her great axe into the air. Gorm, guide my strikes! Cast runic weapon. With 2 actions there. Third action, she will heft the great axe down into one of these logs here. Rolls a natural 1. As somehow, she was so focused upon her call-out to Gorm that she didn't even think about how best to strike into the log there. Just swings to the side of it, hitting the dirt. That wasn't guided.
Miss +5. So sad.
We go to Kablaskian Ord here. What are you even doing on this field, young lady? You're not a threat to any of us. Why don't you just give up? Seems his strategy is intimidating the others too. 33 against Gigina Verudo. She, unfortunately for him, is a little bit more willful than that. She just shrugs her shoulders. Oh, I'll show you. I've got plenty up my sleeve. As Kablaskian just growls back, he's going to go for a strike with the great axe against one of the logs, critically succeeding against it. For the purpose of it, these logs are like, they have an AC of 20, they have 20 HP, but they have a hardness value of 5. So that means that basically they have a resistance 5. But with Kablaskian Ord hitting a 30 total on his critical success, he's able to split into this log, completely destroying it outright. He goes for another with map. 13 is still critical.
his prowess, guiding him forward, but not enough heft is behind the strike. He only deals 9 damage to this log, is the hardness value. And logs have to be
Hardness 5.
completely split to be counting.
Check out the scarf on that man. I hope he comes in second after Giraffe.
No striking runes.
Giraffe, over to you.
I'm going to double slice
Okay.
this first one.
Some might wonder why you use the hatchets, but now they're seeing the speed and the power that you use to just chop and chop into
2
this,
crits.
one after the other. Crits on both. Let's see the crit of the first. That'd be 22 damage, not enough to break through the hardness value, so it is going to be a total of 17 damage. There, it's just barely still holding up, but we'll see if the second one actually destroys it.
This
Certainly
full one,
does.
second one ignores the hardness.
Oh yes,
Or-
so yeah, for the purpose of it, it will. You completely cleave into this one, destroying it.
And since I got a crit, I'm going to use my reaction to demoralize Villamor Koth again.
Okay.
Because I can use my reaction to do that whenever I get a critical hit.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't they immune to your demoralize after you demoralize?
I'll allow
them?
for this, I know.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, whenever you demoralize somebody, in general, they're immune to it for 1 minute. But, because it's 2 different abilities, and for the purpose of this competition, I will allow it. Competition, of course, is very different from real combats, but 24 is not going to succeed. So,
Anyways, for my last attack against this other log, I could crit.
you do.
I
Horrific.
do that.
Right.
The agile grace of these hatchets, cleaving into this other one. You split this one down with one quick slice. Lightning fast.
Oh, I thought that wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hardness
I'll take
value
it.
is 5, so that means it just minuses
Oh,
5.
5.
from
I
it.
thought it was 9.
No, no.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, I'm good. I'm good.
Yes.
That's my turn.
that. We go to Villamor Koth. Impressive for a pup, but I've cut down much greater foes than you ever could have imagined out in Numeria. So, that he is going to, seemingly, have a strategy here. He's going to use his first action to reposition one of the logs. Will certainly succeed. He throws this log next to the other one. Of course, I don't have like tokens for the logs. They are like tile things because I made it from the Patreon. But yeah, there's 2 of them right here. He then, with his second action, is actually going to try to sweep into this log, but as he pulls that log over, it sort of flips onto its side, and that's not a good cutting position. He just tries to slam through it, but is not hitting against the grain. Ah, damn it! Come on! And he only hits this one.
Oh man.
But with his great power and prowess, he is going to easily still cleave into this one, destroying it, but not with a crit. So he doesn't get to do the thing he wanted to, which was like sweep through the other one. Yes, I know he has 2d12, he's special.
Wow, your mouth's bigger than mine.
Why is he using such bestial vocabulary? Do humans also call their young cubs?
Alright.
What to do? It's called a metaphor.
He's one of the unwashed savages that unfortunately we have to share the land with in Numeria.
Now go to this. Sorry, go ahead. Fair.
Karenth is watching her very closely.
Now, this is a competition of speed, and speed I will have. She can't say it on herself. And then we'll go for a strike with the great axe. Trying to heft it down, but she doesn't seem nearly as strong as the rest. But still, she. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, she has 2d12 there because she's supposed to cast a runic weapon in the future, but seemingly I forgot to not include that. She only deals 8 plus, actually 3 plus 2, totally 5. She barely does a dent into it. Because she hasn't cast a runic weapon yet, but she seems to be biding her time for that haste to go into action because that only starts at the start of her turn. Now, the dwarf. Alright, now I'll show you how a real lumberjack deals with logs. One clean strike. I'm gonna use power attack. 15 on the dice, easily a critical strike. This would be with 2 d12s, but she doesn't really need it. Even so, leaves that 1 and 2. She seems to be quite a threat in this competition. Then map 10's something else. And hits. This one, not with power attack, not with a lot of damage. She doesn't heft into it too quickly.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Go to the top of the round. Oh shit, yeah, thank you guys for noticing that the dice feed is stuck. Hate it when it does that. There we go. I have to manually adjust it. You guys could still see the rolls, so you could still see kind of what they were doing there. Let me get back to my proper setup here. There we go. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Such. Now, Team Siraj, with the runic weapon in hand, emblazoned by Gorham's symbol, she is going to try to strike in with a crit.
Much
Easily.
better.
18 points of damage, though. She should be adding another d12 to this because of runic weapon. So it's d20, excuse that one. Going for this d12, 12 on that with a crit will be destroying this log. Down to 0. She goes for another map. This one also is a critical strike. She gets on a roll here now. She cleaves into this log too, destroying it, not needing to even add that extra dice for that. And she goes for the third, map 10. See if she can continue these crits. She does not, only hitting this one for 2d12. So 9 plus the extra d12 here will be a total of 19, down to 14 total damage to it because the hardness value almost split, but not enough. Oh, not enough, yes. There we go. Going over to kill Bastion, they shout down now at Giraffe.
You know, you could just quit while you're ahead. Would make it easier on you.
I'm
wasn't
well
very
ahead
good.
of you. So why don't you take your own advice?
What a cliche line.
Oh, dunderheads.
Goes for a strike, 16, down to 11, but 11 was exactly the HP of that log, puts it to 0. Then, the next. They strike the map 5, last action because they went for a intimidation. They do critically hit this one for enough to destroy it. They're down to 1 log remaining. They have enough heft to back up their intimidation. The Giraffe better get these last 2 before they get ahead.
Yep. I don't think I need any fancy tricks. I just think I need to make 2 or 3 attacks and finish this now.
No, Giraffe, you're better.
So first attack,
Natural 20.
natural 20.
Prowess guides you forward, but the axe that's in your hand just doesn't have enough heft behind it. Only dealing 15 total damage because of the hardness value.
Then I'm going to target the other one with my second attack.
19, definitely a crit.
Gosh.
For this, 3, total of 24. It's at
Ugh.
1 health itself.
Are you serious?
I have, in the past, allowed rerolls on damage dice in these competitions specifically. Since, well, it's cool. You want to reroll
Can I use
any
a
of
hero
those?
point to reroll it?
Mhm.
I'll just do the damage.
Do
again
another
and take away hero
d6. Yeah. Another 1.
point.
Nope.
Fortunately, we'll take
Actually,
the higher roll there, and well, you find yourself with 2 logs, but already out of energy. You only have 1 action.
Can I reroll the other damage roll, or is it too far gone?
Sure, yeah. Well, yeah, we can do that. The damage
Just
dice
for the log on the left.
1.
The
Yeah.
log didn't know it was already split in half.
Ah,
Oh,
Damage
Oh my
dice.
god!
not been good here. We try to put enough heft behind these strikes, but with these hatchets, they don't have enough. You have 1 more action.
This is making me angry.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just don't have anything. I just have to go for my third attack and take out one of them.
Oh. Natural 20 again.
These are the most incredible attack rolls I've seen lately.
But another
Again?
one. Either way, it destroys the last log there. Only one remaining, though. Scary spot to be in.
For my crits,
Mm-hmm.
I want to throw some demoralizes at this guy down here.
Okay.
He's too close. That was 3 crits.
Yeah, but unfortunately, just with how it roll, I have 4 crits actually.
Oh my
But since it
gosh.
uses my reaction, I only get to use 1.
Mm-hmm. Capacian Ord is very much frightened and distracted, in fact, by that sort of show of prowess here. So, you have one more. All you can do now is hope that the competition doesn't get ahead, and they might. We'll start with Villamar Cloth. You chose the puny weapons. And, He's so distracted, but still is able to strike in for enough
That
damage.
was a crit fail.
It was, but he has enough of an attack modifier to still get above a AC of 20 by 10.
Oh,
So, as you remember, with natural 1s and natural 20s, they only increase or decrease the success by 1 step, which normally means a critical success means a natural 20, but in this case, he still had enough value to make it always a hit. That's why peasants can never kill a dragon, because they could never hit whatsoever. Even if they fish for a natural 20.
I see.
I
Oops, I
see.
didn't need
I
to
just
roll
didn't
it.
realize it because it just doesn't come up that often.
Not at all, really, yeah. Sometimes it does. So, still destroying it. Still just not landing the correct strike there. He got a lot of damage into it. Critical success on this one, too, as this one also completely splits in half. His great strength seems to be overwhelming now that he's starting to get a roll on things. Let's just see the last one here. 14 on the dice will be a critical hit even with map 10, as he cleaves into this one. Villamar Koth sort of cries out to the crowd, "And this is what you've been waiting for!"
Unbelievable.
As he cracks through that, taking the first place win.
I'm angry. I got
So over.
so many 1s on the damage dice.
Inaveruta casts Runic Weapon to get herself going too. She hasn't really made much progress, but maybe this will make the difference with her haste. 18 definitely is a crit against this first one. Be a total of 42 now with that Runic Weapon. Goes to the next. 7 on the dice, misses it, goes for it again. It's just not the right strike. This will be a hit. And enough damage behind it. Actually, no, not to kill it, actually. She still has to do enough damage to it. She definitely is, not in a great spot, as her magic doesn't seem to get over the pure prowess of the other competitors. Now, Disarm Marmota seems just stubborn enough that she'll just keep using power attacks, like the proper way it's going to be done, showing off that direction, or that, means of doing it. It's not a contest of speed, it's a contest to finish it in one quick strike. There's been a lot of voices, so getting a little lazy on them, but she doesn't get through this one very well, actually. So, we go to Timsina Siraj. She may have a chance to complete this if she can get 2 of these. 4 on the dice, only a hit against this one that was already there. 11 on the damage dice is, let me see how much, yes, exactly, because he has 6 HP on that one, minus 5 of the damage, just destroys it, goes to a map, which will hit. More damage on this one's going to be pretty strong, down to 12. So 8 damage left, or 8 HP left on a map 10. I accidentally rolled map 5. She would have still hit even map 10 because it'd be plus 0, exactly hitting and destroying this log. And Timsina is the second place winner as a surprise. After her start, Kilbaskin, as he was just too slow to finish up the last log, just angrily rushes off the field. Damn it! And with that, that is the end of it, since points are down to 0. Only the first and second place winners get any points. And Giraffe, you are left without a success.
I'm so angry. If I didn't start with double slice.
Should have done what Vilmore Koth did and drag them together.
No, even with double slice, it would have.
Because I wasn't told the AC and health before that, I don't think. I was told
you
after I
were.
used it. I was?
Yeah, he said
Yeah,
it.
but double slice still wouldn't have done it because your first roll was a 24 on damage, so it would have survived
Yeah.
on 1 HP.
Yeah, even there was not really any circumstance you could have succeeded there, unfortunately, just because of how the dice came out.
Oh, that's frustrating.
So, Villamor sort of steps by. Ah, you shouldn't even be here in this field. You don't get what strength really is. Steps right on by, flaunting his victory. You catch an approving glance from Castruccio Irovetti towards Villamor. Well, with that, the competition is at an end. Please, for the rest of the night, be merry, be well, enjoy the night's festivity. And with that, Irovetti makes his departure, Nunzio makes his departure as well, and most people actually up here start leaving as day turns to night.
That's actually making me angry.
Mm,
Ah,
might
I
be
just
just
got a little bit better rolls on the damage.
part of it. Part of the competition. Not just a competition, it is competition against hated foes of your nation.
Well, Draft, you tried your best.
That was a real spectacle.
You were
Definitely worth-
so close.
Worth every silver
angry.
piece I paid to get here.
You didn't pay anything to get here. I teleported us.
Exactly.
Keep in mind, however, this is giving us a good opportunity to observe whatever champions that Pitax happens to have.
So that guy's gonna take part in the other two competitions, right? The boasting and the...
Not the boasting, the
archery,
jousting and the archery.
We need to think of a better plan. I don't think anybody cheated in this. Surprisingly.
If they did, I didn't catch it.
I certainly have a plan for the joust, so don't worry about that.
That makes me more worried. Archery is next, correct? What is our...
Yes, archery is tomorrow.
Isn't Nunzio still here?
Nunzio, yeah, he's still around.
Clarence is gonna go running up to him.
Oh, yes, I was just backing up. What do you need?
I just wish to know in advance, what are the rules for this archery competition tomorrow?
Oh, well, it is a little bit different than this competition here. Competitors are not allowed to enhance themselves in any way. No interference from magic or anybody outside the competition. It is a simple test of your archery skill. There will be 3 targets. The targets will be in increasing difficulty and increasing amount of points if you do hit them. And there are points for loosing your arrows quickly as well. So you'll get bonus points if you have an empty quiver for each round remaining of the 6 rounds.
And
you
only
get 6
longbows are
arrows.
allowed? You can't use a crossbow or anything like that?
Oh, but it is a test of skill. Crossbows are not a skillful weapon. Takes many years to learn to draw a bow. To place a crossbowman amongst these scions of archery would be tantamount to an insult.
So you're telling me that you could pick up a crossbow and fire just as well as any of these longbowmen?
What do you mean?
Well, if a crossbow is a weapon of no skill, then you should be able to pick it up and shoot just as well.
Well, I mean, yes, but that's defeating the point of a competition. It's a test of skill.
Well, thank you for the rules.
Of course.
You have to use a longbow for this thing. We're screwed.
Oh no, what a
I'm
shame.
not screwed. There are two of us that are perfectly capable of performing this feat.
It's certainly not you, Kiba.
Excuse me?
I've never seen you shoot a bow ever. Huh?
I practice when we are in town. I just have never taken it to the battlefield.
As things die down up here, just make your way down. Back towards the more open tournament ground here. As you imagine, going around here during the night, might be a few different people around.
If there are, they are not visible to us.
There.
Very curious what this building is.
Oh,
There's be a stage.
Oh, it's stage?
Mm-hmm.
You tell.
It's called a pair of gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm so angry about those damage rolls. I got like 4 ones.
Sometimes the dice roll. If they rolled the same with ones on their damage dice, they would be doing pretty poorly too.
Oh no, the furries.
Well, werefolk, as they like to be referred to. But you do recognize there are werefolk sort of hiding in the shadows of the what seems to be the theater pavilion here. They don't seem to be particularly hidden, though. They openly acknowledge your approach. The were-rat, actually, sort of regards you with a bit of interest, and you see on his back a bow that seems to be brimming with some sort of electrical or, like, magical red energy along its string.
Well, it looks like the losers have arrived to, speak to us.
There's nothing wrong with scoping out the competition for tomorrow, is there?
Competition? Oh, you mistake me. I am not competing in any of these games. It is not our place here.
I'm surprised to hear that, actually. What else is there to do at these tournament grounds aside from take part in the tournament?
Oh, but we are honored guests of Irovetti. We partake in the wines and festivities that he has to offer to us as a gift.
See. If you don't mind me asking, how did Irovetti come to know you?
Well, coin speaks for many, as it does for Irovetti. So we followed what the coin told us.
So you were paid by him to be here?
Of a sort, yes. Not here specifically. But that's not for you to know.
I won't pry in that case. Still, skulking around in the shadow of a building doesn't exactly make you appear all that trustworthy. I apologize.
Perhaps that is part of the reason that we are skulking about. Not always are actors open. It is night, and you are out here as well, yourselves. But...
tend to be
Sorry, go.
we tend to, well, not exactly skulk around in the tournament grounds, though.
Well, of course, of course. But perhaps since, you are barons, you might want to, enjoy some of the information that we could offer you.
I'm listening.
Well, I of course cannot impart what the information actually is before I see the coin in my hands. 500 gold pieces. And I will tell you what our business is with Irovetti.
Gaz checks his own wallet and then gives a glance towards the rest of the party as he is very much short of that.
How much did they
Guys,
say?
come over here.
500.
Yes.
Guys, Yarmos called you.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
I don't know. What are you thinking?
Listen, we're down one bowman for the competition tomorrow, and see, no matter how you get it, it's always good to have friends, allies.
Uh, I see what you're thinking, but
You catch the skunk bomb I'm throwing.
yes, but the gentleman has already professed to not being interested in participating in the games.
Well, he's also professed to following where the coin leads him. Perhaps something like that. That ilk.
That is
Might
another
change
good
his direction.
point. You would probably have to pay up a huge sum at this for that, though.
It's one day of shooting arrows. How much could it be? We can negotiate. Well, Kaba can negotiate. He's better in words than I am,
Well,
certainly.
For now, we should probably pay the first little sum they've requested of us, though.
Well, the first time that you wanted to pay.
I'm short.
Uh,
Short on money,
no,
though.
you're a perfectly good height.
We're not going to be here all night. The window closes.
Gaz once again looks towards everyone. I would really, really love to find out what Irovetti is plotting.
Alright, here. Yarbus here hands 50 platinum over to Gaz.
Gaz takes the money and, with a grin, turns around and, well, immediately shoves it into the hands of the two very gentlemen.
I listen intently.
This should
Parenthus
be,
also listen.
should be the sum that you requested, yes?
Works. There we go. I think that works. Eva, did you see something? In the chat there?
I do, yes.
Okay.
I do indeed.
So, you step up, Gaz.
500, as agreed.
Do you hand it over?
Come in?
You hand it over.
Yes.
Okay.
Something's wrong.
Locked in. He takes it out of the coin, unless you rush up to intervene. They take the coin purse.
Maybe you shouldn't do that.
What's that?
I don't trust
What?
them.
Are you going to give the coin or not?
For a gentleman that is skulking in the shadows, they seem like very trustworthy gentlemen.
They
if you ask
smell
me.
wrong.
Parenthus sniffs as Kiva says that. I have indirect scent, by the
Mhm.
way. If it's actually literally like a scent or something, I imagine parents would also get it.
I would say, parent, you would have to roll a nature check to identify it.
I will do so when he mentions smelling.
Hmm.
Oh dear. Choice of words.
Well,
Doesn't
parent,
matter.
you do smell quite faintly, but you do smell the scent of blood, iron, that sort of thing.
Well, can't have second guesses now, can we? We are in a safe place. There are guards around the corner, and we are bid not to cause any issue.
Who have you killed recently?
Killed? Who? What? Perhaps is the more poignant question. We need to eat, don't we? We don't eat cooked meat. We're rare creatures.
So, what did you eat?
Oh, I can't recall. Maybe a, rabbit for me. Something bigger for the tiger, but I don't hunt for him.
I'm hitting that button hard.
There's something not right, Kiva, to what they're saying. They obviously, from the information that was imparted to you from just within your mind, and what you're looking for now, they're definitely avoiding telling the complete truth about that. Certainly.
It's very fascinating because I tend to remember everything I eat with very absolute clarity.
True. Very true. I admit that Irovetti has a certain stock that he provides to us to tide us over. But it doesn't matter unless you give us the coin. Then we can speak.
Kenneth is gonna try to follow his nose to see if there's like something else, like a body nearby or something.
There's not a trail, it doesn't seem.
Okay.
Or unless somebody wants to do a survival check to track where they came from. But that would be pretty difficult because they're standing right here. So somebody would have to cause a distraction for them too.
Gas sort of turns around towards Kiba and lowers his voice to a whisper. I admittedly am interested in the information these gentlemen have to offer, and as Yarmus suggested, perhaps we could provide their service. Definitely seem to be good at their jobs, for as backhanded as that is a compliment right now.
What would you want to hire them for beyond information?
Well, for taking our place in the archery competition.
We don't need to give up our place in the archery competition.
Fair
No,
enough.
they're just gonna throw the competition anyways. They serve Pitax. Why would they help us?
Not if we negotiate payments based on performance. Say 1,000 gold for first place, 500 for second.
I think
None. We lose.
this type of payment these people might be interested in is a bit beyond what Kiba might be willing to part with.
They are not us. They should not represent us.
Well, they could. You know, I've got some of my paperwork on me. We could get the citizenship forms processed by the night's end.
Yarmus here.
Gold speaks. Remember what I said.
If you want to pay for the information, I will not stop you. But I will not permit them to represent us on the archery field.
I shall respect your wishes in that case.
Fine, fine.
Gaz gives Kiba a slight bow and once again turns around, hoping that the other two people have not listened in, and once again reaches the platinum that's in his hand towards them.
Ah, that could have been a little more expedient, but I need some water to continue a rat's voice, excuse me.
If we kill them in combat, the DM won't have to speak in the rat voice anymore.
Very well. So,
That was
We
updated,
are-
by the way, I promise.
Yeah.
we are mercenaries for Irovetti. He's hired us, kept us in his retinue for quite some time, awaiting a future conflict, of which we have been promised much. Not just coin, but new stock. New followers.
If you don't mind the question, has Irovetti mentioned anything about when that conflict might take place, or perhaps where?
It was promised some time after the tournament. The way he made it sound was it'd be only a few weeks or so, at maximum a month. But we do not know where or why.
I admittedly have some suspicions in that regard, but I thank you for your answers, honestly.
Oh, you paid for it? We are simply mercenaries. We have no loyalty to Irovetti. We are only loyal as far as the coin goes. So, perhaps a separate deal. You could buy us out of his contract for the same amount he bought us in.
As tempting as that is of an offer, I think my colleague behind me might have some objections in that regard.
How much is it?
3,000 gold pieces. For us and our packs. Dozens of other werefolk. And that would be to just buy us out of his contract.
So you would still do whatever you choose.
Well, we would go where the coin goes, and there would be no more coin here. We'd have no reason to stay, and no reason to make enemies.
Were creatures are kind of like a rare sight, aren't they? What do we know about them?
Well, they are actually quite often seen in Numeria.
Oh,
Like a little bit more often than otherwise. Just because of how wild that place is. And it's sort of a safe
Gotcha.
haven for them, almost. A lot of other places of the world, they have a tough time living, obviously.
Think on it. We'll be here every night.
We'll definitely consider your services.
Or at least the annulment of services to your enemy.
Of course.
So, sort of continue hanging out back there, skulking about, as you guys head away.
so do you think they eat people, or do you think they try to turn people into more were creatures?
They turn people into more weird creatures. A question.
Mhm.
Are we able to tap into the kingdom's treasury at all?
That is what your earned income is, because we don't do the kingdom's
okay.
management
Yeah.
stuff. Because otherwise you'd be spending a lot of time, like, downtime doing the kingdom management stuff. So it's sort of rolled into that, to the
Gotcha.
earned income that you now do.
Well, I certainly don't have the money to afford buying them out.
I'm certain we have enough between us to do so, but, well, what after is a question, and whether or not that's what we want to do is
mean-
yet another.
One of you has enough in your pocket alone, so...
Wow.
Oh yeah, giraffe.
Wait, am I holding the most money out of everyone here?
by a margin, yeah.
Oh yeah, because of my work. It
Doubling
wasn't
me.
enough to get the boots I wanted. But
Hmm.
Well, not having were creatures in an attack on our kingdom would be good. We don't really... Remember that werewolf? I don't think we want that to spread again.
That's true.
On a much bigger scale this time because we have many more people now.
Well, these don't seem to be the same type of were creatures. They seem to be like the creature all the time, and also not completely out of control.
They exhibit self-control, which fascinates me.
Wow.
given that our only prior experience is with a werewolf who loses control of himself at night during the full moons.
You look up. It's not really a full moon. It's actually a half moon
Yeah.
right now. Where creatures can change, they just lose control over the change when it comes to a full moon. Like, they don't have to have a full
Oh.
moon to change.
And that guy was fresh, so.
So, as you guys head down here where you originally sort of talked to Irovetti, it seems another figure has sort of taken to smoking on the side of the river here. Sort of drags it for a moment, acknowledging your approach with a sort of tilt back of the head. Seems I have guests. Who, then, might be approaching?
Well, you can call me Parent. We are the Barons of Scalefort, actually.
You turn around, and you see a snide-looking gnome. Definitely with their popped collar and trench coat, they're of a roguish sort. Ah, the Barons. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. I was hoping you'd come by. I know you can't, well, miss out on making connections, as it were.
Of course not. And this place seems to be perfect for making connections. People from all over the world.
Ah, but you found just another local Pitax in me. Can't reveal, by the way. My occupation, well, that might require a promise from you.
A
Not to tell
promise?
anybody. That's all. Not to jump back in fear. It's not that bad.
We've dealt with all sorts. I think we can safely give our word that we're not going to panic or do anything similarly untoward.
Of course. I don't know exactly what it's like in your kingdom. I don't know how dry it is. But we're in a safe enough place, I will tell you. I am a drug dealer. The many citizens of Pitax have certain requirements. Both the rich and the poor rely on my substances to get them by in such a, well, hopeless place.
Oh, I used to do that.
You're in good luck, actually. We have a connoisseur of the special
Oh.
substances with us here.
That you do, I suppose. Oh well then, yes, I'm the leader of the dealers of Pitax, as we call ourselves.
And you're just here to watch the spectacle. Are you involved somehow in this?
Oh no, I'm not involved in any way. Save for the odd sale here and there. I'm mostly here to make the connections that we are making right now.
Dealers of attacks. I suppose these are all parts of this organization or illicit
Yes.
traders.
Smugglers and drug dealers.
Are drugs illegal here?
Sorry, what?
Are illicit substances illegal here?
Oh, are they?
Are
Okay,
they?
I thought you say our. Yeah. Well, they are not necessarily legal. In the books, they're not. But with such a massive operation, the guards and Pitax, or rather Irovetti, do know of our activities. Instead of shutting us down and shutting down such a good income generator for the city, we are charged a bit of an extra tax on our sales. A bit of a sin tax, as they call it.
So they really don't
Wait.
even give you a second glance, huh?
Not
I don't-
unless... Sorry, again.
Are indulgence addictive substances really banned in the city? But I see people drinking alcohols all around us.
Oh, but if you found the other tents on the outskirts, you would find a lot more than just alcohol. Very much so. But yes, Irovetti allows us to continue as long as we do not do anything outside of smuggling and trading in drugs to the needy population of the city, down and out students and rich nobles of the trade houses. They all are buyers. Some say it helps them create their art, or gets them through it.
I
Eva
imagine,
just kind of takes a deep breath, nodding.
I imagine that you could probably move things more than just drugs or that kind of thing, couldn't you?
Oh, I mean, of course, more than anyone in the city, we know how to transport illicitly. Yes.
It's always good to know somebody who knows how to do that.
It is, isn't it? In fact, should you ever find yourself in Pitax proper, come find us at the Rose Tower. It's the defunct lighthouse of Pitax on its left harbor.
Is Yarmosphere in the bush?
I mean,
I'm just wondering.
it's under a
This is a
tree, but
tree.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Unless you're saying that bench is also partially in the bush.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for pointing out things I struggle with on my maps all the time.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I try to, there's a shadow here, it looks pretty
Yeah.
big, right? And there's benches under, yeah, it's fine. Well, if you should ever need something transported, or just wish to drop by to get a better bead on the influences inside of the city, you know where to find us. I shouldn't be seen with you too long, though.
Of course.
Makes sense.
We'll stop by if we're ever in the city and if we need something.
And if before then you want to find me, I'll still be around these fairgrounds. Just find me where people are having the most fun.
I wonder if we could hire his services to drug some of the competitors.
Interesting idea. I don't like it.
Well, that big guy looks like he probably partakes of stuff. Maybe we just pay this guy off to give him something a little special.
Oh, do you think he does?
We could probably do that better ourselves. He seems more of the cross borders type of smuggler.
Well, if we ever need to invade Pitax, we know the guy to help.
If you have the money for it.
Which we probably won't.
This is all about money, isn't it? You
Didn't I
never
tell
quite
you?
have enough.
Didn't I tell you guys before? Gonna have a lot of opportunities.
I have 2,000 gold on me, and it's not enough to buy anything.
Well, win the
I
tournament.
need that glaive in my life.
How are you gonna make as much money as we can really, really quickly?
Win.
Oh,
Yes, we have to win the archery tournament.
Remember,
yeah,
it's
that's not
also
going
like
very well.
it's between each people. So if Pitax starts losing, you guys have an easy way to get ahead. So it's not like you have to win every single one, and the points are gonna get shifted around between all the teams. It's not like it's not like all the points are against you, stacked up.
Right.
So,
What is stacked up against this is that guy's crazy modifiers.
oh, do you think he's as good with a bow as he is with an axe?
We have no way of knowing at this point.
Well, proficiencies
Oh.
probably.
Well, still, might not expect as best of a performance. Of course, with a burly barbarian, an axe is going to be their best thing, and bow will come second. We'll have to figure out what you guys do for next time, though, because that'll be the end of our session.
Oh wow, went by quick.
Yeah, this part is going to be a lot of talking, a lot of deal making, a lot of people meeting, and all of these people meeting, at least the people that aren't just competitors, is important too. You're meeting people that have power in Pitax a lot of the time.
I was gonna say, I feel like we're just making these connections for later.
It's good to make them.
Indeed. Good to have friends in the city,
Mhm.
potentially.
But yeah, I do hope you guys had fun. I do hope everyone watching also had a good time with this. This will be a different pace than crawling through dungeons and such for a little while.
A nice change up.
Mm-hmm. That is partially why I do like Kingmaker. It's a long campaign with a lot of different things going on. It's not just like, oh, it's Abomination Vaults, you're dungeon crawling, or it's Outlaws, you're racing against time and doing, everything fast, Yeah, I enjoy this part. And of course, this map and the map for the tournament are on my Patreon, because Paizo doesn't provide any maps for any of this. Great. But, yeah, if you guys liked the show today, feel free to... Feel free to go to my Patreon and help out. I'll leave it at that, though. I'm tired, actually. I've had a long week. I need to stop going out and partying, and, maybe, give a rest a little bit. But I'm catching up on what I didn't do in my early 20s, so whatever.
Yeah.
That being said, Kiba, you stream.
I sure do. Hello, I am Chris Kobold, the player of Kiba, and I'm a Twitch streamer over at, I just changed the name again actually, Captain_Kobold. Come drop by sometime. I tend to go on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, specializing in retro games and the occasional indie title. It'll be fun.
Alright. With that being said, I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you guys next week. See y'all.
See ya.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.